Prophet Marshall Occurrence. So, this is also going to be an ongoing campaign about being in war mode 24/7. We're on the road, man. You don't see that? We're on the road. We're on the road, guys. We're on the road. We're winning. We're winning. Because now, for anybody that heard my story, and heard your story about being gang stalked by the Americans, now see what we talk about. They now see it. They now see it, man. And how people may have addressed it to them like we were just off our rockers, like we was going crazy. Now people, it's more believable. See, I'm already in position. I'm waiting on the rest of the world to realize what's going on here. You see what I mean? I'm waiting on the rest of the world to realize what's going on. And now they're catching up to it. They're starting to catch up to it. They're starting to realize. Okay? And that's all it took. See, that's why we gotta, this is what I would say to the people in Venezuela. You know, we gotta go through this to get the Americans incriminated to the rest of the world. So sometimes they gotta take the bait and do stuff like this. And in every war you got casualties. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean, you know, whatever happens, we always gonna have casualties in our war. It's no way we can win a war without casualties. It's just how it is. We always gonna have casualties. That's an unfortunate part of the war, but let's just let it not be in vain. If Maduro got to do life in prison and his wife or whatever, you know, let it not be in vain. You know what I'm saying? Let us take advantage of this and form the right perspective about these Americans, and not let up and not be no chumps about it. Okay? Let us keep the right perspective. Do not let it die that these people are the enemy that call themselves Americans. I've been saying this. Now their true colors is coming out. And that's all it is to it. I'm not the only one. That's the beautiful thing about this now. Because ain't no way in the world you're going to say I'm the only one that got something against America. Right now, ain't no way in the world you're going to be able to even form that opinion about me. It's so many people that got that opinion, that this worldview that America is the enemy. There's so many like us, you know, and now it's done gathered momentum, where just everybody, the Europe, Russia, everybody, Europe, you know, obviously down in South America, man, it's just a lot of hate coming towards this country, and it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that. We don't know what the everyday is gonna bring from this point. Long as Maduro is locked up, we don't know what's gonna happen. We got 2 solid months, even to the day. 2 months and 10 days. Okay, we got 2 months and 10 days, and that's a lot of time in this situation. Especially keep in mind all this stuff that's going on down there, that they're doing down there too, in Venezuela, and just this ongoing situation with these boats, that too, and the outcry of the overall global community. Can you see where it's going? As God's true people, can you see where this is going? Wake up, man. Okay? I try to tell y'all. You know, some people think they woke. What they call woke. You ain't woke. You ain't woke until you see America as the enemy. I'm talking about the real enemy. Like behind closed doors doing stuff against us like they doing. Using all these organizations that we once were in, all these shelter programs, they using all of that. If you right now watching this video and you're in a shelter in America, don't be surprised if they're using the staff and all that against you if you're a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Don't be surprised if they're using all these organizations against you, the people, the staffs, to play psychological games. Okay, that's where we at. So why fake it like it's some hope? It's no hope. This is just a shock and surprise. I told you, history is full of surprises. This is the surprise. America became the enemy. Okay? I didn't set out for it to happen like this. It's what it is. I just adjusted to it. I adjusted to it so good, you almost thought I planned it. Meaning I planned to be their enemy and stuff like that. Nah. I just moved into it so easy. People think I just got this vendetta against America. Nah, I just moved into it with ease. That's all. They switched up, I switched up. But I just did it so easy and smooth, you already thought I was like that. You see what I'm saying? For some people that went over their head, man, look. America started it with me, bro. Okay? And they just got what they deserved. It's simple arithmetic. It's not hard. It's simple arithmetic, bro. They got what they deserve. They get what they deserve. We winning big time. Big time. Big time, buddy. We winning. Don't you think for 1 second that little weak stuff they doing now can compare to what we got going? Not for 1 second, buddy. They in the negative, if anything. They ain't even in the positive as far as points. They're in the negative, bro. Come on. You don't listen. Not for 1 second do you allow yourself to entertain the fact that what they are doing is doing anything to us. We keep fasting. You know what I'm saying? I say humbly, I'm on another fast. You know what I'm saying? This is our lifestyle. I did a 7-day fast. I'm doing every other day. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna hit it like that until I give my offering. I got an offering coming up. See, it's all lining up. Everything's going good. This is why we got to fast right now. Seek the Lord right now. Stay out the way. Don't dodge, sidestep confrontations, because they're going to be looking to try to start a confrontation. In this season right now, avoid confrontations. Avoid arguing with people. Don't even argue with people. It don't matter. We winning. We winning. We winning. It don't matter. Whatever they own, it don't matter. Let them do whatever. And I gotta practice the same discipline myself, because being a real one is different. You know what I'm saying? I'm quick to check somebody. If you're a real one, you quick to check somebody too. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta kind of keep that to a minimum, even the checking people. Because they're going to try to take advantage of everything. Even us trying to check people, they're going to try to take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? To try to escalate problems, escalate situations. So we got to be able, this is where we practice discipline. You know what I'm saying? Even as soldiers, when we know we can crush people, you know what I'm saying? In different ways. We can crush people. I used to lift 200 pounds in the gym. I'm not no weak dude. I'm the same height as Mike Tyson. I'm not no little dude. I don't need to be 6'9". I'm just saying. But I'm the same height as Mike Tyson. Okay, so I think I did pretty good. I'm the same height as Mike Tyson. I was lifting up to 200 pounds in the gym at one time. I got natural strength to lift up whole pieces of furniture on my back. I still just have natural strength. We can crush people physically, right? We don't have it to prove. Like I seen another video the other day. Don't end up in jail. You know what I'm saying? We doing too good. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't even sometimes that they can do something to you. It's what you can do to them. And once you do it, guess what? You're going to prison. That's what I'm saying. So what we gonna do, man, is just sidestep people. Sidestep these lanes, man. Sidestep these lame females. You gotta do the same thing too. Sidestep these lame females. You know what I'm saying? Like, just It don't matter, man. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. That's that. You know what I'm saying? And we don't care nothing about what they talk about. We ain't trying to entertain nothing they talk about. We winning, and it's working out. It's all working out. Like I'm about to put 1 million down there in South America, and they can't stop it because everybody, you know, God is gonna make sure more than anybody else that it happens because of all the money they put against us. You know how much money they put against us to get all of this done? You don't even want to know how much money they put together. Think about it. That costs money for all of them to do all of that. So you think we ain't gonna be able to put $1 million? I tell them openly, yeah. I'm about to put $1 million down there in South America. Oh, that's for all the money you put against us. That's for all these Christians you play with in this country. Listen, I'm about to put $1 million down there in South America, buddy. All the way they playing with South America, the leaders. You think I'm worried about? You think I'm worried about what they thinking? You think I'm worried about? You think I'm gonna hesitate? You think I'm gonna be fearful? You think? Listen, man. Listen, buddy. You got me sized up wrong, little buddy. You got me. Listen, you a boy to me. You a child. Listen, they got us sized up way wrong, buddy. We real cowboys over here. See, you proved to be a toy soldier, buddy. You know what I'm saying? You proved to be a little toy soldier. You know what I'm saying? What, you put on a little outfit, you think you game, bro? Man, come on, stop playing, bro. Stop playing, man. That's nowhere near me. That's not my equals. This dude right behind me and behind the wall behind me, psychological person, right? Come on, man. Call it how I see it, bro. You think I get this reputation for being an amateur? We don't care nothing about it, though. Like I said, we're moving forward. We doing great. Listen, bro. We left them back in 2025. Say it. Listen. Say it with me. Gang stalkers are left back in 2025. They can't go no further. And God confirmed it. God confirmed it with. This is how God confirmed it. God confirmed it with all this stuff that's happening already in the first week of the year. That's above that's above gang stalking. They're not relevant no more. That everybody's focused on that. So God is so good because I already received a word that those people are not relevant no more. Next thing you know, all these things start happening. Events start happening where they're not even relevant anymore. Are you thinking about them? 100% no. We thinking about what's going on with Maduro here in Brooklyn. Right here in Brooklyn. That's what we think about. We looking at the repercussions of that, what the world community gonna do about it. How they gathering up against America. That's what we think about. So God knew all these things that was going to happen. Glory to his name. To where these people are not even relevant. Nobody cares about that. No, we don't care about that. All we think about is what's going to happen the days ahead now that this has happened. Now that they jacking oil and taking oil and all of that. Grown man conversations, grown man. See, that's how you know some of these homosexuals, man, they didn't grow up. And I call it how I see it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't grow up. And they're not focused on these things what we focus on. What you focus on? What a gay person focus on? They ain't focused on Maduro here in Brooklyn. Gay man ain't focused on that issue. Gay girl ain't focused on that issue. Come on, man. That's all I'm saying. We live in different worlds. They're not focused on this like they hear it, but they ain't focused on it like us. What they focused on? Who knows? Who knows? And I don't care. Okay? Because half of them are gay. It's no secret. Half of these secret society people are gay. We know. Okay? That's what we know. Okay, so we ain't paying that no attention. You know what we focused on? Maduro here in Brooklyn. That's what we focused on. That's what we focused on. We focused on that. And being in the war. This video is about keeping your mind in the war 24/7. I don't play games. I don't play back and forth with people. Look how far I got. And look what they've been doing. Haven't they been doing the same thing? Okay. So if you're smart, you're going to say, okay, they've been doing the same thing, right? This dude maintained his position and sidestepped and ignored these people. And now the whole world unchanged. You got to respect it. I didn't know exactly how it was going to be, but I knew that we could beat these people. I knew we could beat them. I know God's kingdom is above these people. And people got scared of these people all this time. People get scared of these people. That's why y'all sit back. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I demand my respect. Because I know you scared of the people that I beat. You're scared of these people that I defeated. So imagine. So that's why nobody can really play themselves, because you halfway just watched. You know what I'm saying? You ain't lend a helping hand at all to me. So imagine me sharing my glory, the glory that God has for me to have. Imagine me sharing my glory with anybody. I'm not gonna do it. I don't share my glory with nobody. Meaning nobody helped me really. And we know that. We know that. The whole part of the show was I was out here on my own. Look at this dude running around out here on his own. That was the main part of the show. Okay, so when I won, imagine me sharing my glory with this community. It's not gonna happen. You can't trigger me, buddy. I know what's in my mind. You know what's in your mind? You holding L's, okay? You don't bother me. You're that person knocking. He think he triggering something in my mind, but I know what I'm working out in my mind. See, that's what you got to tell them lanes. I know what I'm working out in my mind. Listen, I know what that is. You can't define it, can you? Okay, so I know what it is for me. What is it for you? See, that's a person that think they so smart, they know what you're thinking. Listen, buddy, listen. At best, all they gonna do is wait for you to be imperfect when they imperfect too. We don't care about that. We left that back in 2025. If you want to pursue it, you and your dog can come over here. I can body you and your dog. I know it's you. Okay, so look, man, let me tell you something. Listen, buddy, let me tell you something. You barked up the wrong tree. No pun intended. You barked up the wrong tree. That's what you done, because listen, we play for keeps. Wherever that is back there, whoever that is, listen, I guarantee he ain't gonna make it. I guarantee he ain't gonna make it. So I'm about to put $1 million down in South America. I'm about to put $1 million down there. That's what we focus on, money. Put it in God's kingdom. Right now, don't you see the time? Don't you see what it is? See, we just got to fast to go ahead and destroy all the opposition. Destroy all these butthurt lames and these people that's big mad about, and big sad and big mad, right? They big mad and big sad about all the stuff that's going on. Okay? I told you. I have complete faith in God, bro. I have complete faith in God. I have complete faith in God. You know, I have complete faith in God. See, when you operate like this, right? People just take for granted. They halfway listen to you, cause you ain't gonna have this state of urgency that it usually takes for the average person to believe what you're saying. You know how some people don't take what you're saying seriously. if you say it too cool and laid back, I was like this the whole time. I already done seen God at work. I already done seen God do what he do. I already done seen it. You know what I'm saying? So we don't care what they do. They ain't gonna get no rise out of us. See, that's the main thing you gotta talk about now. See, like, this is your time. I ain't gonna say to flex. I ain't gonna say this is your time to flex, you know, because it comes a certain arrogance in that, you know what I'm saying? But this is your time to walk in confidence, total confidence that we win in this war. We definitely win in this war. We definitely got this in the bag. We definitely got it. Ain't nothing gonna happen to you, and ain't nothing gonna happen to me. We got this in the bag, okay? That's why they desperate. That's why they gotta knock on doors and walls. Now compare that to the real world we live in. You know what I'm saying? It's pathetic. You up 6 o'clock at night in the morning knocking on walls, bro. Really? Really? Really, bro? That's pathetic. It's pathetic. And it don't work. It don't work. It don't work. We know that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? And everything they best efforts is not gonna work. None of it is gonna work. Okay? We don't have no hang-ups that they think we got. That's how we know it's them. So all we gonna do is stay focused on fasting and the offering. That's the main thing. Don't lose focus on this fasting and this offering, and I'm gonna do the same thing. We ain't losing no focus. Ain't no death in this atmosphere. See, it's death for them. That's why you gotta separate yourself spiritually from these people, because death is on they front door. Oh yeah, I don't care what no American Christian is talking about. They can't hold it back. An American Christian can pray for him all they want. When God decides to do what he gonna do, okay, I want you to think about this. Let's say you do believe that God will bring judgment on these people and kill these people. What do you think these religious people gonna be doing? These religious people are going to be still trying to pray for these people. You understand, right? You dig it, right? They gon' still be trying to pray for these people. And God is showing you it ain't no more time for prayer. Prayer time is over. It's time for judgment. That's what's happening. I want to share a scripture with you based on that. In Jeremiah, I'm going to be coming from the book of Jeremiah. You know, you gotta be you. Like somebody telling me earlier, one of my sisters in Christ, just be you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be you. Because while people think you tripping and think you're basically like a thug or whatever like that, right? You're basically like a thug and all of that. Nah, I'm not a thug. I'm a soldier. See, if our enemies realize we were soldiers, they realize they're in a lot more trouble. A thug is one thing, a soldier. Ooh wee, buddy. Ooh wee. Okay, so this is where I'm at. I'm going to be coming from Jeremiah, the 13th chapter, the 14th verse. And it reads, Jeremiah, don't pray for these people. Don't cry or pray for them. I won't listen when they call to me for help in times of trouble. This is Jeremiah, the 13th chapter, the 14th verse. Jeremiah, don't pray for these people. See, it's some people, it's sometimes where you come to where it's time to stop praying for these people. It's no more prayer time. Okay? It's no more prayer time. It's not time to pray no more. It comes a time where God stops. Listen, I want you to understand this. Because see, what I'm starting to do is show people the word of God. To show you the nature of God. Do you see the nature of God in this scripture? The nature of God is sometimes, you understand the difference, right? You can see what happened, but do you get the nature of God out the situation? The nature of God is sometimes we stop praying for these people. We stop praying. It's no more prayer time. Okay, now let's read that again. Jeremiah, don't pray for these people. This is God. Now see, for an American Christian, you're going to always pray for people. That's what I'm trying to, now you see where I'm at. With all that's going on with these Americans out here, we ain't paying attention to these little lames around here, right? That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing on my radar at all. These gang stalkers are nothing on my radar at all. We listen, I'm a military official. I'm a spiritual military official. You understand me? Those are bums. Okay? We don't pray for people if God tells us not to anymore. When it's time for judgment, when it's time for judgment on these people, prayer time is over. I just showed you with the scripture, because an American Christian, I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. You're going to think it's always prayer time. You're going to think it's always time to pray. You're going to think it's always a ray of hope for these people. No, it's not. I'm telling you this as a prophet. It's not no ray of hope for these people. It's time. It's time for them to suffer. We don't raise no children and no mentally sick people that belong in mental wards away from us. They're not our responsibility. It's time for them to suffer. It ain't no more prayer time. It ain't no more prayer time for America. It's wartime. Okay? And listen, you definitely can't intimidate me. You flattering yourself. Well, you flattering yourself, think you tough enough to intimidate me. You ain't intimidating me, buddy. With no loud voice. A loud voice intimidating me. Man, you can't be serious, bro. You can't be serious. That's funny to me. Listen, let me tell you something. It comes a time where we don't pray no more. We don't pray no more for these people. Let's read it again. Jeremiah, the 13th chapter. We're not having mercy. No. Because we told you what the conditions of mercy is. The condition of mercy is, but for me, is my money. I prove that I'm greater than your community. I showed you I'm saying stuff that Jay-Z didn't say. So it ain't just you wronged me, it's who you wronged. You wronged somebody that's greater than Jay-Z. If you did Jay-Z like this, you'll be going to get the bag. I guarantee you. You'll be shipping in money. With a forklift. You'll have money on a forklift. You have one of them bozos on the forklift, buddy. Listen, man. If it was Jay-Z, you would be getting a bag. And I know that. So what I realize is you think you can play with me, right? Okay, we gonna prove that you can't do that. That's what we gonna prove. We gonna prove without me touching you. When you look at the world, everybody gonna say you can't play with this person. Because when you look at the world, look at all that has happened. So you can't. You can't play with this person. It don't matter about your attitude. I ain't saying your attitude ain't got nothing to do with it. When we look at the overall results, you see we can't play with this person. You see that, right? Yeah. You already see it. And you don't think I realize it? I'm the first one in line to realize you. All this stuff is because you played with me. Right? Why you think Maduro in Brooklyn? Come on, man, listen. Let me show you something. Jeremiah, the 13th chapter, the 14th verse. Jeremiah, don't pray for these people. Don't cry. Don't cry for them. Don't have no sorrow for them. When you see them going through something, when you see these Americans going through what they're going through, nope. You already, listen, don't be stuck in retardation. They played with you, right? Okay then. It ain't nothing else to talk about. What got you stuck is you think as a Christian, it's your duty to try to help these people. That's the problem. You think it's your duty to try to make them change and for things to work out for the community. That's not your duty. Nope. It's not your duty, buddy. You're a grown man. They grown people too. It's not your duty to do that. See, God don't move around. God don't have no people moving around like cartoons. You understand? It's all real life is always considered. Being a grown man is always considered in the equation what's required for you. Okay? It's not, we don't consider boys in men bodies. Listen, hey, it's not even hard to figure out. You play with God's kingdom. I send my condolences to America. It's over. Jeremiah, the 13th chapter. Jeremiah, don't pray for these people. Don't cry or pray for them. Don't cry or pray for them. Don't even cry for them. Don't have no sorrow. And see, that's hard. That part is hard when you see the little kids die, right? When you see kids die, you see all this stuff. A little bit, you like, that's messed up. You kind of watch the story, everything, but look, right here, what God told you. Don't cry. What that tells you, don't have any compassion. Don't have any sorrow. God told you not to cry. Don't even cry. When you see, and that's hard. I know. A couple times it got me. I seen this stuff start happening to them, to these kids. It'll get you. It's a tearjerker, right? But you got to have a posture of what God told you. Don't cry or pray for them. Don't cry. Don't have no sorrow. So what are you going to do? You have to obey God. You have to obey God instead of your emotions. You got to stop thinking about your emotions. Stop thinking about, and in order to do that, you got to change your whole mindset about these people. In order for you not to cry, your mind got to be changed around. Make sense? To where when all them kids start dying and these people start dying in this community, you don't cry. That's what God said. And look, the way you don't cry is your mind is changed around to where you don't see it the same way you once did. Everything that they are, everything that they think, who they are to you has changed. And look, this is the hardest task of the prophet, is to convince you that this is your enemy because it's not registering to you. What you gonna think is, spiritually that is my enemy. I'm not telling you spiritually this is your enemy. I'm telling you physically what they plotting against Christians in this country. You don't believe that? That's what I'm trying to show you. That's why it's the hardest task for me to show you. But for those who really are high ranking, it's not hard for you to believe because you've been a Christian for quite some time and you kind of realized that there was going to be a switch at some point where these people were going to become evil. That time is now. And some of our brothers and sisters that are religious, now follow me now, it's going to be the people with the intuition like me and you. We going to pick up on it right away because we already in line with street intuition. I don't lack intuition. Even when I hear stuff all around me, I know what it means. I don't lack intuition, right? Like our enemies think we do. Listen, we don't lack no intuition. You ain't bothering me at all. You ain't making me suffer at all, buddy. Because every time I fast, every time I go through, God brings the blessing. This ain't no game. Some of y'all, as far as these lame people, right? They'll look at the internet and see their position and think that they playing their position according to what the internet say about them, right? But I'm gonna say above that, I'm not saying it's corny how people paint these people and whatever, right? But above that, they can't see us. They can't beat us. That position is defeated. It's not even, we don't even really fully acknowledge that position. I don't care what they doing no more. You know what I'm saying? Like God wants us to not pray for these people. I want to see, they ain't gonna show you. See, some of y'all don't become the Christian that I am because you're gonna be religious. You when this stuff happens, you're gonna still be praying for everybody. See what I mean? You're gonna still be praying for America and they grown men, competent men and women. They made all these decisions. Why you gonna pray for them? They got Maduro right now. Okay, so what's to pray about? Now you see what I'm saying. It's almost like you become superstitious. That like your prayers ain't even really, you know what I'm saying? It don't make sense no more. These people brought Maduro here to Brooklyn, right? What is there to pray about? What is there to pray about? No, if you had to call it, what is there to pray about? As far as how who the Americans are, what is there to pray about? What is there to pray? What you praying about? See, when it escalates to a certain point, it's nothing left to pray about. Once certain things happen, what is there to pray about? What is there to cry about? Why cry for these people and their families? And they opposed you. See, how I put this. Some people, you got this heart for humanity, right? Some of our brothers and sisters are Christians, but you're not a spiritual warrior. You can be a Christian and not be a spiritual warrior. You're a Christian, but you are not a warrior. You're just a loving creature that loves God and you love people and you pray, but you're not no parts of a warrior. You're not sophisticated as a warrior. And so, as you know, the more time we go into the spirit, it's nothing but war that's going to be fought. And we're not all supposed to lie down and die. See, if you follow these religious people, you'll be on your way to die. Because they'll say, well, I guess it's time to die. Like, what? Nah, bro. Listen. You're around the wrong Christians. They'll love everybody and then just go ahead and die. That ain't my plan. That's not God's plan. If you one of them people that just love, look at the punch, look at the last end, look at the end game for these love people. The end game for them is they just gonna go ahead and die. That's what they thinking. Well, it's just my time to go, or the Bible says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you have to see when people are being destroyed for a lack of knowledge, and you got to move on because they willing to be a martyr, and God ain't calling them to be everybody to be a martyr. Okay? God ain't telling you to be no martyr. You can beat these people. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a religious person, you so docile, you gonna give love to everybody and go ahead and die. You see? That's your plan. Your plan ain't never gonna be to fight back. So if we gotta fight back, what you gonna do? If it's God's plan for you to fight back, what you gonna do? Think about it. If it's God's plan for us to fight back, what is religious people gonna do? They not gonna fight back. They not built like that. And God didn't make them like that. They made themselves like that. They made themselves to this religious kind of spirit that just is docile and they don't fight back, and God did not make them like that. That's an American form of Christianity. When I can show you a Christian down in Jamaica that believes if a witch is persistent in witchcraft, they must be put to death. Not praying and paticating and playing around these people. I seen a Jamaican woman, a real lovely, good person that I used to listen to. This Jamaican woman made it very clear. If a witch is persistent in witchcraft, they must be put to death. That's that. Now, if you follow American Christianity, they're never going to make you feel at any time that these people are going to die. They think that's an extreme. This is how politicians are able to get in to this type of into the American Christian church, into the American church. They're able to get in because they preach this type of Christianity that doesn't require almost even no abstinence. Like no abstinence from the community or the culture. You don't even hear preachers talk about abstaining from one of the worst cultures in the world. That's the first thing a preacher should be talking about. Is you abstaining from American culture. That's common sense. You can't have anything to do with that and you're a Christian. They're not going to teach you at some point a witch has to die. They're not going to ever teach you that. They're never going to do it. There's always going to be some other thing you got to do. There's always going to be prayer. There's always going to be something. There's always going to be, we got to do this and we got to do that. These next steps, never, they just died. They're never going to say that. It's never going to come out their mouth. That's what I'm trying to show you. But then I can go in here in the Word and find over and over again where sometimes people die. And you're not above God. This is where I start rebuking people. You're this lovely idea that you just love. You're not above God. If God says it's wartime, it's wartime. And so you got to start rebuking these silly people that's walking around acting like it's love all the time, and God ain't even like that right now. Not against this community America. Not with America. It's judgment time on America. It ain't no time for God. God ain't loving on America right now. No. Wake up. It ain't no love time for America. So you start putting yourself above God. You start putting yourself above the Lord. Like you above God, where you just love, and you just, hold up. You're in the wrong spirit. You're not in the right spirit. Look, it comes a time where even love, when even you trying to love people, you're not in the right spirit, buddy. You're going to be one of them type of people. While the world is falling apart, you're going to be out there talking about love. When you're not realizing all of this has become enemy. That's the next step. It gets bad. That step was fulfilled. They become enemies. That's the step they're on. Okay? There's no confusion. It's nothing. That's what it is. They use their free will for it to be this way. Okay? We didn't use our free will for it to be that way for them, right? Okay. They use their free will for it to be that way. Okay? So, like I said, I don't raise grown men. I don't raise grown women. You listen, you come into the real world, buddy, you're on your own. We done seen people die for less than all the stuff they doing. We done seen people die in the world unprovoked for no reason. And we got a reason for the stuff they doing. Okay, so then I look at things in terms of that. It's people that done died for less than what they've done. It's been people that have died from unprovoked death. They ain't done nothing to the person at all. That's the world you live in. Okay, so I don't sympathize with people that come out here and play in the field and think that they supposed to live. And people die all the time from unprovoked deaths and killings. And people die for less than what they've done. Way less. So that's my logic. That's how I see it. And as you can see, it's always based on the real world. I don't even know these people personally. That's the more funny thing about it. I don't have any attachment to any of those type of people to have any kind of some really some emotional attachments to them. I don't have any emotional attachments to these people. So imagine that. They don't show no signs of humanity. So what I supposed to think about humanity, but they show no signs of humanity. Come on, man. They don't show any signs of humanity. That's what makes it even worse. It inflames the situation when you think about it. They show no signs of inhumanity. So what's left? That's all I'm saying, bro. See? If they don't show no signs of humanity, they act like animals. But we supposed to acknowledge their humanity. It's not going to work for a smart person. Because I don't see any humanity. I don't see any humanity to acknowledge or to preserve. And then they get in danger of extinction in mass values. That's what they mass volumes. That's what they're in danger of. Mass extinction. That's how it is. That's what's going on. That's another threat that's going on. Mass extinction in America. I don't care. Me personally, because if Christians can't live, then why would I care about anybody else? If we can't live in peace, why would I care about them? See, that's just common sense. Then I can show you God at some point doesn't want to help these people. That's what that's why I have to slow down. I could be talking about a million things right now, right? And like these other preachers that's out of touch, I can say all kind of good stuff to make everybody feel good, to make love feel like it's in the air. But it's not a season. It's not preaching in season. It's not preaching in the time and season we living in. Right now, you need to hear this. I'm telling you. You know, there's going to be people that's talking about all this harvest, all this stuff, and you got all this stuff going on. Blessings and love and all this stuff. Nah, what you need to hear is Jeremiah, the 13th chapter, the 14th verse. Jeremiah, don't pray for these people. Don't cry or pray for them. I won't listen when they call to me. See, they gonna call to God. They gonna try to pray. They gonna try to pray. I won't listen when they call to me for help in times of trouble. God already said he ain't gonna listen to them. This is before they even started. I won't listen when they call to me for help in times of trouble. God already said, I'm not gonna listen to them when they call for help for me. And I'm paraphrasing, when they call to me for help in times of trouble, I'm not gonna listen. God is already in that position. God don't play games, bro. I don't know. Listen, man, I don't know what kind of crack them people smoking, bro. But half of them are drug addicts, and that we know. No. Oh yeah, man, that's facts. That's facts on it, bro. Drug addicts, man. Sitting up playing around people, and now the world is over for real. See, you was a clown to see. Oh, well, let's see what happens next. Can't you see a little drug addict sitting around like that? I'm glad I don't get high no more. I'm glad I'm not intoxicated no more. I just can't stand just the whole mentality of them kind of people no more. I just can't stand it. I'm glad I don't drink no more, like I excessively, or I don't smoke no more. I am so grateful for my sobriety. I am so grateful for it, because I realize it's a certain type of retardation that's produced out of it. It produces a mentality. And that's why I believe in carrying weapons. I believe you should be armed. I believe, like, anybody, listen, I'd rather explain myself to authorities for killing somebody than be killed myself. I'd rather explain myself to the authorities for killing somebody than to be killed myself. That's my logic, and that's what real one's logic is. Listen, for you know, a lot of people done died from hesitating on killing people. I'd rather explain myself to the police and live another day than trying to be a nice guy, and you know what I'm saying, and dealing with people and you know they ain't got no good for you, and you hesitate. I'm not gonna hesitate. I explain myself to the authorities. That's all I'm saying. Things has always been real for me. Things has always been real for me, bro. From day one. You know what I'm saying? It's common sense for human beings. I mean, you try to push somebody but so far, what you think gonna happen? It's common sense. It's common sense, bro. Listen, you can't even kick a dog without a dog biting you. Keep kicking the dog, right? It don't matter what kind of dog it is. Eventually, if you keep kicking him, he gonna bite you. If it hurts hard enough and you keep kicking him, he ain't gonna sit there and take it. At some point, if he in trouble, he gonna start biting you. What you think a human gonna do? You keep playing with a human. Man, listen, you retarded, bro. I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. You thought I was retarded with you, that I wasn't gonna do this to you. And I am doing this to you. I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do to you. I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. Now, who's retarded now? Only you look retarded. Done played with this whole community and everything, and everybody sitting up licking their lips ready for you to die. They ready for me to make my next move. My next move hoping it buries you. I know what the community is waiting for. They waiting for me to take care of my business. You shouldn't have played with me. And now with every passing day, they starting to see it my way. And that's all I'm saying, bro. See, how you need to hear it is the prophet was in front of everybody. I was before everybody. Okay? So I was already their enemy before they really became the full enemy. Does that make sense? I was already there. I already got my alliances. Not like a gamer, not like some game nerder. Game nerder, right? Not like some game nerd, bruh. I've already had my alliances for World War III. Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, and Lebanon. That's my 5 alliances for World War III. You know how long ago that's been that I set those alliances? See, listen, man, it's some clowns that you listen, when the world falls apart as we know it, so do you. So do you. It's only thing gonna be left is soldiers. That's it. That's all. I hate to tell you, it's not gonna be this nice, smooth tour of the world like it used to be. When you sitting around eating pizza on a patio outside of a restaurant, that world is going to be gone. No more cheese sticks outside of in front of a restaurant on a patio. No more cheese sticks, buddy. Scratch the cheese sticks. You can already tell this past Christmas, this past holidays, tell us, listen. Some people said it was the last Christmas. This is the last real Christmas. You can already see it. Trump making problems over there in Greenland. Trump making problems in Greenland already. And Europe, look at all this stuff he's doing. Some would say he the Antichrist. I don't know about that. I don't demonize people like that. I would have to see way, way more for me to put that title on a person. You know what I'm saying? All I know is he's creating enemies, and that's for sure. That's absolutely for sure. He's definitely creating enemies, and that's for sure. You know, now, it's not going to go backwards at this point. See, some things that you do changes things forever. And in America, it's not a country that forgives. It's a country that expects you to forgive them. Does that make sense? Oh well, they don't act like they forgive us for what they thought we did. They thought we were savages and child molesters. They didn't forgive us, did they? No, they didn't. Look at the games they playing with you. But they want us to forgive them. I'm not saying me and you did things in the context that they said it, but look at their attitude, and they don't even know what you did. Look at that. They don't even know what you did, and look at it. They don't even know what you did. And look how unforgiving they are. But then they gonna try to preach to you about forgiveness. Man, come on, stop playing with me, bro. See, you can go talk to these brainwashed religious people, but I'm not a brainwashed religious person. You can't play with me. Okay? You gotta practice what you preach. You came out here, you can clearly see these people are unforgiving people. For something they thought you did, they couldn't even prove it. So then, but when it comes their time for them to be unforgiving, they act like, well, you should forgive us. You insult my intelligence, man. Don't you know that? Well, here's the better news. You don't have to worry about forgiveness or unforgiveness. You know why? Guess why you don't have to worry about it? Guess why you don't have to worry about forgiveness and unforgiveness? Because it's a war. It's a war. So you don't have to worry about forgiveness or unforgiveness. It's all gone. The idea of forgiveness and unforgiveness is not on the battlefield. This is what I teach as a sensei. Forgiveness and unforgiveness is not on the battlefield. You thought I was like you, some little magical kid. I'm not a magical kid, buddy. I'm not some whiz kid, a golden child, or any of them other little things that you done came up with. I'm a sensei. Look at my level of maturity. How I'm a golden child. Come on, stop playing. Listen, man, I am a sensei, a real one. And you just happen to anger one of the worst senseis in your whole community, buddy. And ain't no way you're going to come at me with that weak idea of forgiveness. Especially when you wait and we see that you waited for the time when you start losing. Now, come on, man. That's for amateurs. You start losing, now you talking about forgiveness. Man, come on, bro. You can't be that pathetic to try me like that. Ain't no way in the world we finna talk about some forgiveness when you start losing. No. And guess what? You ain't gonna be able to manipulate my Christianity to get the forgiveness. Or you can rally these other Christians with you and they can die with you. Okay? Because I can show you in the Bible where when it comes to a prophet and it comes to a soldier of God, if anybody get out of line, including God's people, he himself will curse them. Oh, you want to prove it? Oh, I can prove it. I'm going right in the Bible. See, I'm all about proving God's nature. See, this is my campaign right now. Proving God's nature. Because people think God's nature is different than what it is. What's God's nature in these situations where these people playing games every day? They wake up to playing games. Oh, you out of here, buddy. God ain't giving no space for it. Ain't no room for it. And you thought it was. You know why? Because you thought we supposed to forgive you and give you love and cover you with love. Okay, buddy. Okay. We supposed to cover you with love. You're going to get covered with warfare, buddy. You're getting covered with warfare. You're getting covered with warfare. You little fool. Listen, you should have knew. How you going to play on and on with God's people if nothing ain't going to happen to you? Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm very sorry for you. Because life is a little more complicated than you thought. Oh, yeah. It is. You act like we like little kids and little chubby little kids and all these little images you be throwing in our minds. Like we like these little kids and stuff. But yet we find that you marry children in America. There's no forgiveness anymore. We're not talking about that no more. You see what happened, right? But yet we like chubby little kids. You're a retarded person, bro. I promise you there's something wrong with your thinking. And you thought it was me. It's you. You're just a bunch of drug addicts that should have been put in these big mental hospitals like they had back in the day. What they should have did, this would have cleaned up 40% of the streets. They should have threw all these homeless people that's mental in these medical big hospitals like they did in the 20s and the 30s. In the 20s and the 30s, in the 1920s and 30s, they had these huge hospitals. Not for physical medical conditions, for mental people. Hear me out. They closed these big mental hospitals. Why? Can you tell me why? I mean, it's still the same mental sickness. You can see it everywhere. Why they closed the big hospitals? Because America started to have compassion to a fault, to where now we're going to try to make you live a normal life as a mental person, and they can't do it. They wind up playing around us. That's all these are mental people that suffer from psychosis, that belong in a mental hospital. That's where they belong. So did mental people go away? Okay, so they had these huge hospitals for a lot, thousands of mental people, right? So where did they go? Where did they go, buddy? So are you saying they just kind of just went away? It ain't that many no more? It is many that more. It's many that more, right? It's many that more. What happened? These counselors that counsel these mental people told them they can get their life and spread their wings and be a nice, good citizen, and made these mental people feel like they can be something that they couldn't. So then after they set them free like birds, they start shutting down the whole facilities. As to say, no, we gonna just let them go out there like birds. And you know what? What happens? You got these functioning psychotic people around us that are functioning. Listen, they gonna act normal and they bat crap crazy. They bat crap crazy. My thing is this: you can't do crazy stuff and say you're normal. I could be a war hog and show absolute disgust for my enemies, and it makes sense to a soldier. Where I just completely humiliate my enemies, that would still make sense. You are bat crap crazy as Americans. Oh yeah, you are. Many of you. Listen, you ain't crazy. And in a good way. You're not a violent person. You know what you are? You're bat crap crazy. That's all. I figured it out. Give me credit. I figured it out. That's all they are. They're crazy. They're psychotic. It's called psychosis. Go look up psychosis. These people look normal. See, what you thought was mental sickness looks like a person that's just bugged out, like they can't function, like they can't see in front of them. There's people that hold jobs, they got money, and they're bat crap crazy. I'm telling you. There's police that get jobs as policemen, and they're bat crap crazy. I'm trying to tell you. If you don't understand the higher level of psychology, you're gonna miss a whole world of crazy people. They even saying Trump is crazy. They've been saying that from the first term. From his first term, I've heard people say Trump is crazy. Like he suffered from I don't know if they said psychosis or bipolar, but literally, man, people have said he's a sick person. You know, and that's not as an insult. That's like mental sickness. You know, my thing is this: as far as, let me say this while I'm on the subject of mental health. If you're mentally sick, you know, it's not your fault necessarily, but I do believe some people can bring mental sickness on themselves by following the black culture, where it's kill, 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 murder, 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 and if you listen to kill, kill, kill all the time, the first mental sickness you're going to have is psychosis. You're going to be psychotic. That's real. That's for the books. And if these dudes around here talking about they got turn up, you know, you're psychotic, bro. You suffer from psychosis. And I already covered the other ones that are bipolar. Many of you are bipolar, bro. You're not a gangster. You're bipolar. And in all your life, people told you you was hard. And the truth is, man, you needed meds. You need medication. You're not a thug. You suffer from bipolar. You got bipolar, bro. You bipolar. That's what it is. And everybody told them their whole life they was gangsters and they was tough and they was 100 and they were hardcore and bipolar as they come. And I ain't talking about the ones with the big foreheads. I ain't talking about them. The ones that look obviously like something wrong with them. No, I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about the dudes that look normal. Come down, eat breakfast with you. Cook breakfast. Hey, how you doing? How you like the eggs? Them type of dudes, right? Yeah. I was gonna go out today. You know what type of dudes I'm talking about? Yeah, I was gonna go out today. You need me to pick something up? Yeah, I was gonna go out there on the street, go fishing. Yeah, it's good out there. It's good out there. You know who find out first? The wifey. She find out you bipolar. And the thing about a bipolar person, I'm gonna tell you, they're gonna act normal. That's why these people who act super normal, pay attention. Yeah, you know, it's a good day. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me cook breakfast. Oh yeah. Let me do, walk the dog. Oh yeah. You super normal. See, my mom told me at a young age, when I was in my 20s, I could be a psychologist. I just have a gift of understanding psychology. That's why when my enemies play games with psychology, all them knocking around, I'm a war genius, bro. I already know every little thing you're doing because I understand the mind very well. I've been like this for a very long time. Even my mom have given it to me. Even my mom have said that I can be a psychologist at a very young age. Okay, so some people, listen, buddy, listen. You suffer from psychosis. You're not a gangster. You're not even let's go a little farther. You're not even a spiritual person. You're not a witch. You're a mental person. If you was a witch, you'll be getting manifestations. You're a mental person that clings on people's heads. You just mental. If you was in a mental hospital, you would just be all over reading people's minds and stuff. You're one of them type of people. That's mental sickness. But it's not a death sentence. I respect people if they crazy, if they go get help, if they admit that they're crazy. The ones that disgust me are the ones that sit up and act like they not crazy and be bad crap crazy. If somebody say, okay, I'm not really all together, you know what I'm saying? I struggle a little bit. I can respect that. It's the ones who get under my skin is the ones who try to act like they normal. And you can't tell them something wrong with them. You can't tell them, especially when it's black people. If it's black people, listen, if it's a black man, you can't tell him he crazy. You can't tell him he crazy because in our culture, being crazy is considered weakness. It's considered weakness in the African community. That's why in the black community, with mental bipolar and mental, it goes undetected. Nobody don't want to admit it. They'll say they went to the doctor, but they didn't tell the doctor the whole truth. They did it like a questionnaire where you're making up all lies. So then obviously he's gonna say nothing wrong with you. A doctor ain't gonna say, well, I think something wrong with you. You're lying to me. A doctor ain't gonna say you lying to me. If you answer all these questions, he's gonna say, okay, you'll be back. Other people gonna say you're crazy later on. You're going to be back, and then you're going to have to eventually realize, I'm going to have to go in here and be very transparent and tell the truth. See, the ones they think crazy, nah, them ain't the ones crazy. I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I'm multi-race ethnicities where I'm not even all black. I'm not. So if you try to size me up just like an everyday black person, you're gonna miss me. You're gonna think all kind of stuff because I don't act like a normal black man because I'm not totally black. I'm not. I'm part South American. I'm part Peruvian. I can prove it with my bloodlines. Everybody ain't South American. I'm part Peruvian. Okay? So I'm part Latino. So you can tell if you pay attention. I don't act totally like no black man. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you try to see me as an African and that's all, then you're gonna say all kind of stuff. That's why I believe in going and seeing what bloodlines you come from, so that you won't let people misdiagnose you, because it starts there. If you have, take heed to this. If you are a person that what I call exotic, you got many bloodlines, but you're not biracial. You got different bloodlines, right? Right. So it's like me. I got 11 bloodlines. I'm part English. I'm part Asian. I'm Filipino. I'm South Asian, Indian from India. I'm South American. I'm Balkan, where the Vikings were, where I possibly got Viking blood, like the Vikings. So I'm not just English. I'm Balkan too. Some people are just English, which is the ancestors of the Americans, the slave masters. I'm also South Italian. So I have more than one part of European that is the typical with most black people. They got white, you're English, right? Or Irish. Those are the two. Because remember on Queen with the movie Queen, she was part Irish, right? So you have two types of black people. The ones that's got English and Irish. They usually won't be South Italian like I am. I'm South Italian, okay? So I'm part South Italian, and I'm part Greek, South Italian, Greek, and Balkan. So I'm not just the average, even everyday blow Joe that got a little bit of white. You know what I'm saying? Because that's gonna be English for most people. But me, I'm part Balkan, South Italian. You don't even see that every day. You don't even see black and South Italian every day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm black and South Italian and Greek and in English and Balkan. And it does matter because it tells your vibration is going to be based on your bloodlines. So if you're not a total African bloodline, then people are going to misdiagnose you, trying to read you as an African. That's what I'm saying. I'm too smart. You can't make me feel crazy. I know what I'm talking about. See, they didn't know I had all that in my bloodline. They didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm part South Italian. They ain't these people around here ain't know. You can look at them and tell they ain't no bit of no Italian. I tell you that. You have African features, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But it's nothing wrong with me pointing that out and making that clear either. Okay? Get it? Okay? You're really basically African. That's it, right? Me, on the other hand, if you read me just as African, you're gonna miss all that I am, right? And that's that. So that's why I explain myself. Is it because I think I'm better than people? No, that's stupid. That's immature. That's stupid. I wouldn't make that mistake. I identify myself for who I am, so I'm seen for who I am. So I'm not misdiagnosed. Now, if you see me as totally an African man, you're gonna miss it. Even how I look, everything. You're gonna miss everything. That's the truth. You know, and if you don't If you let people act like you just African and you know you ain't never been totally no African, you gonna be one of them light skinned people that's sitting on the porch halfway drunk all the time because you don't fit in with African people. You ever seen one of them light skinned people? You see them all the time. They start out looking good in life, and then they start getting around black people. Black people start treating them some type of way because you don't act totally black, and you let them misdiagnose you, and then you wind up that one crazy light-skinned person drunk all the time on the porch with black people that they don't take seriously. Because you did not go and check all your bloodlines and let people know who you really was so they can get up off you. Now, boom, they know, oh, he's South Asian, he part Indian. Literally, he got Indian in his family. Literally. He can prove it. Not folklore from the family. Most of y'all got folklore from your family. You ain't got none of that in your family. You go check and you ain't a bit Native American than Donald Trump. But you've been told that by your family because of high cheekbones and all of that. That's foolishness. It's a million different races of people that got high cheekbones. Black people think because they got high cheekbones, they Native American. Go prove it with your DNA. That's all I'm saying. I prove everything I'm talking about with my DNA. I'm all about show and tell. Prove it with your DNA. I proved it with my DNA. I'm part Indian. I'm part South Italian, Greek, Balkan. And it's like I said, it's not to make yourself better than somebody. It's to identify yourself so people will stop misdiagnosing you. If you're Asian, you're going to be different from an African. That's common sense. A Chinese man, how he gonna move? Like a black man? So if he don't move like a black man, what you gonna say? Something wrong with him? No, he a Chinese man. You see how Chinese people act? Do they act like black people? No. So if you part Chinese or Asian, then you don't tell nobody, they gonna expect you to act totally African. I always give this illustration. If an Asian man, if a black man acts like a total Asian man, but he black, he appears to be black. But let's say he carry himself, he talk and everything like a black man, a Chinese man. Like, hi, how you doing? Yeah, I be over there today. If I talk just like that, but I appear to be black, you gonna think something wrong with me, ain't you? But if a Chinese man talk just the same way, you ain't gonna think nothing wrong with him, ain't you? Why? Because that's how a Chinese man behaves. You don't think there's nothing wrong with that because there's nothing wrong with it because he's Chinese. You're African. Okay? So, it's nothing wrong for him to talk like that. But if I talk like that and you perceive me to be black, you're going to think something's wrong with me because that's not how Africans behave. But if a Chinese man has the same walk, the same talk, you're going to say, oh, that's a Chinese man. Because of his vibration. So when you find someone that has many vibrations, and I don't act totally African, you're going to say, nah, there's something wrong with that. No, ain't nothing wrong with it. You just didn't know who I totally was. You thought I was totally black, and I'm not. That's all it is. See, the first step is to go find out who you are. You don't let these black people misdiagnose you and tell you, because that's what they good for doing that. They good for trying to say who somebody is. And don't even know you. You know, so you go check yourself and find out you South Italian. I'm part South Italian, Filipino, which is Chinese. Their ancestors is the Chinese, so I'm basically Chinese. You know, now, did they know my ancestors were Chinese? No. Well, where do you think all the Filipino people came from? They wasn't on the island. That's the Chinese people that migrated down there. That's common sense. In fact, most of those islands in the east, their ancestors is going to be the Chinese because of their dense population, and they just migrated down to the islands. That's common sense. When you grow up and understand life, that's common sense. You understand migration. With the dense population of the Chinese, all the Asian people in the islands, those are all, their ancestors are all Chinese. So my ancestors are Chinese, you know, so I'm part Chinese. Ultimately, right? And so if I try to act like I'm a total black man and I'm part my ancestors all the way backward from China, mainland China, imagine how it's gonna be interpreted. I'm not totally black. I'm not, and that's okay. If you are totally black, that's okay as well. See, I'm not saying, oh, okay, I'm better than somebody because of that. Be who you are. That's what I'm saying. Don't be misinterpreted by somebody that thinks they know who you are. Okay? That's why nobody don't know me. Now you get why they couldn't see me. You get it, don't you? Because I was Chinese. I'm South Italian, all of that good stuff. That's why I sound like a boss. You can hear it all. South Italian, Greek, all of that. South American, Latino, everything. So, that's what it was. That's what it is. That's how it is, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't let nobody misdiagnose you and tell you about yourself better than you know yourself. Think about that, especially if you're competent in mind. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they crazy. You know what I'm saying? Half of them crazy. Bipolar, bro. That's what it is. Half of them crazy. Bipolar. I can show you rappers that were bipolar. No disrespect, but DMX was bipolar. So that all that energy was bipolar. That's no disrespect though. He was still 100. But you gotta consider the bipolar part. That was part of the energy. Oh, it wasn't? It had to be. It had to be, bro. And listen, I was a DMX fan. That's no disrespect, but it is what it is. And so it tells us, like, these people that's rah, that's bipolar, bro. I'm telling you. But you thought it was 100, and then you could see people that just say, well, we got to kill them. and I don't have any emotions. And so you because you used to bipolar killers and bipolar soldiers, you don't know somebody to say, well, let's just kill them. I'm not bipolar. I'm not going to, listen. You ain't gonna see me raise my voice about it. I keep it 100. I check people, but as far as this rah, no, you ain't gonna see me out here like that. That's why when you see me move, you see I move in silence. You see that, right? I move out here, outside this room. Do you see me talking really? Not really. You ain't never really seen me talking out here in this building and everything. You don't see me moving like that. All these people, bipolar, bro, all day. You say it's gangster street, they street, she real. Man, half of them girls bipolar, bro. That's real, and they ain't gonna never get no help. That's when I'm tripping. They ain't gonna never get no help because it's in the African American community, particularly, man. It's considered a weakness to admit that you got some type of mental sickness, and if you can't help it, you can't help it. Yeah, ain't nobody gonna fault you if you tell people that. They gonna respect you. The people that don't get respect with mental sickness is people who act like ain't nothing wrong with them. Then now we gotta call you out. That's how it is. You act like ain't nothing wrong with you, just as crazy as they come. Don't think nobody see it on you. But then you quick to tell somebody else they crazy. That's the funny part. But DMX was bipolar. Marilyn Monroe was bipolar. One of the most beautiful women, white women at least, in America, Marilyn Monroe. That's why she was doing all that stuff, letting her dress blow up and all that. She was bipolar. Well, you ever ask yourself why she didn't catch it or walk or run away? Think about it. A woman used to getting a dress blown in those times. So why you think she just stood there? Marilyn Monroe was bipolar. Robin Williams was bipolar. A lot of people are bipolar, bro. You can go through a list. Chris Brown, he's bipolar. A lot of people are starting to come out with this. Mariah Carey is bipolar. I respect people who actually admit it, bro. I respect that, man, because especially in the black community where everybody act like they got it all together. But then you lying to yourself, man. You that's why you still living with your family. You can't stay by yourself. Mental people can't live by themselves. That's why here where I'm living in emergency housing, waiting for an apartment, they do a wellness check, which I know it's witchcraft anyway. But there are places that have real wellness checks. Let's just look at it in terms of that. Okay, so real wellness checks is where a person's supposed to be borderline suicidal or something like that. I ain't never been suicidal a day in my life. That's how strong my mental capacity, my mental faculties are. I ain't never been mentally suicidal. I love myself. Okay? Now, but they'll do the little knock on the door like they need to tell. But to me, that's gaslighting, as to say you should feel suicidal. Or do you feel suicidal? It makes you question it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm too smart. That's what I'm telling you. My psychology is above that. I don't feel that ain't gonna gaslight me and work to any avail. Because I know I ain't never been bipolar. I mean, I ain't never been suicidal a day in my life. I'm not bipolar. A doctor will come around me and misdiagnose me because you see me according to Africans. My vibration is not totally African. So if I'm out of the loop of African with all these different bloodlines, listen, don't try to label me as some creature or some specimen. You show you don't understand all the different bloodlines. That's all it is. And see, these people that diagnose people, you also have to have an understanding of bloodlines and look at people's features. And some black people are so dull in their mind. I do it good now because I can look at people and tell, oh, that person's black, Latino, this and that. I can see it now since I know myself. But back before, I used to just look at black people like that's just an African, and that's what some doctors will do. And if you don't understand this, you will see vibrations and you don't understand it. It's too big for you to understand. And then I'm gonna profit on top of that. As a prophet with many bloodlines, good luck with trying to see who I am. Good luck. I'm a prophet. You're not gonna be able to understand me, no. And then half the time people saw me, I was tipsy. That's what the funny thing is. Yeah, no, see, people are jealous of, and then don't let it be a gay doctor. This was a gay doctor, which means you probably was halfway jealous. You was sassy and jealous of my swag, wasn't you? That's the truth. Wasn't nothing wrong with me. It just burned you inside that I had that natural flair and charisma that you have never seen. Okay, and then they could be gaslighting too. They try to put that in you and gaslight you too, because they sent by secret society. So okay, so he gonna try to make it seem like because you a doctor, you gonna gaslight me. I don't care. Listen, I don't care what you think. I know I'm not. I know I'm a prophet. I know I proved to defeat your country, which means, listen, whatever you think about my mental hygiene, your country is dead. Okay, and that's the bottom line. It don't matter what you esteem me as. This country is dead. Now explain that. Diagnose that. Diagnose your country and how I seen it before it happened. Huh? And how they suffered for playing with me. Diagnose that. That's a prophet, buddy. I diagnosed it. See, once I knew I was part South American, Asian, Balkan, South Italian. Okay, African man, no disrespect, but he gonna look at me like another African. And if I act out of character to what he perceives to be African, he gonna think it's mental sickness. And it's not. It's different bloodlines. That's right. That's right. And I showed you with the Chinese man. A Chinese man gonna say, hey, how you doing? Now if I act just like him, hey, how you doing? What you gonna say about me? There's nothing wrong with that behavior when the Chinese man does it, right? But if I do it as an African, that's not gonna be normal. Why? The Chinese guy does it. It's normal for him. But why it's not normal? It was racism, you see? It was people misdiagnosed me in racism. Because I'm one of the rare few people that come from the old school that had many bloodlines from the old school. Like these days, it's nothing. You know, you got all these people getting together. I'm an 80s baby from the 80s that was South American, Asian, and you see what I'm saying? I came up in the old times like that. You know, and being multiple bloodlines from the old school. You know, and a lot of black people didn't see me for who I was. They don't see my family for who they are. You don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? We have many different bloodlines and you didn't know what they were. So if you gauge us as Africans, just Africans, then you gonna use your discernment and intuition to see me as an African vibration, and that's not totally who I am. See, I'm smart enough to know that. If I'm part South Italian, okay, you gotta consider that when you even looking at me, when you interacting with me. I'm not totally African. So how am I act totally African? I'm never gonna act totally African. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna act like the blend of person you are. You part South Italian, Balkan, Asian, South Indian. I'm all those different bloodlines. And so that's how I'm going to behave. And if you don't know that, if you don't understand that, you're going to miss the person that's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Because I can show you my behavior in all these different other people. The same thing how I'm carrying myself now. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm just not totally African. And you didn't know that. And when you say that, people say, oh, well, I was around somebody that's black and white. That's 2 bloodlines. That's 2. I said 11. I have 11 bloodlines. See, that's where it's more complicated because that's not going to be easy to see. It's not going to be totally easy to understand because it's a lot of things that make you up for how you carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you know, people would just sit up and play all these games, but the truth is, you showed in the end how racist America really is, even with black people and white people. You really didn't know who I was. That's all. Ethnicity wise, I'm not totally black. See, what got you was I'm from North Carolina, so I'm coated in African culture and in vibration with the funk, being from the country, being from the South. You know, but when you go into my bloodlines and my blend and my vibration and how it moves, it's like 11 bloodlines. But I'm always be funky because I come from the South. You see what I'm saying? So that's what got people. So when you see that I'm funky with my accent and everything like that, you're going to miss all the blend of who I am, you know. And it does matter. It matters for me. It matters for me. And that's all that matters. You know, so... You know, straight like that. You know, you gotta let people know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And it'll explain everything. It explains everything. When you go check your bloodline, you'll say, "Oh man, I do act like this. I do act like that. I act like this. I act." And key words: act, behave. You behave like this. You behave like that. Not just African. You know what I'm saying? So you know. That's why, you know, and if you are just African, that's great. That's great. That's great. But that's not me. You know what I'm saying? And that's great too. You know, so, you know, you gotta put yourself in the proper perspective because people put, especially with accusations, they gonna say, oh yeah, this person's weird. Weird? Why? You're a racist? Because I got different bloodlines and you don't understand me as a person with different bloodlines? I'm not going to act totally African. Just scratch that. Just scratch that part. I'm not going to do it because I'm not. Okay? So then you see the racism is towards multi-racial people. That's the racism. That's the racism. It ain't a mutt. I'm higher ranking than you. People call you a mutt. Okay, then I can call all these people you respect mutts. All of them. That's applied to the animal kingdom, not the human kingdom. When you get to the human kingdom, the more bloodlines you have, the more spiritual power you have. If I got more bloodlines than you, I'm more spiritual than you because I got more ancestors. If I got more ancestors, how you're more spiritual than me? Idiot. Stupid. Beneath me. Minute. If I have more bloodlines, how you more powerful than me spiritually? It don't matter which one you got. You can have African, you can have white. If I got more bloodlines than you, you are not going to be more powerful than me spiritually, no matter what you do. Because I got more ancestors. You applied the animal kingdom when a dog has multiple bloodlines, which came from white America when they mixed two dogs together. They was the way, it wasn't black people mixing the dogs together, it was the white people. They the ones started calling people mutts. You know what I'm saying? That's based on dogs. That's not based on the animal kingdom. When you come to the animal kingdom, when you come to the human kingdom, the more bloodlines you have, the more spiritual you are. You want me to give you examples? Bob Marley. Bob Marley had multiple bloodlines. He wasn't just African. His father was white, a European. Right or wrong? Okay. You want another one? Marie Laveau, the queen of voodoo. Marie Laveau was the queen of voodoo. She was not totally African. She was considered mulatto, which is old school term for biracial. She was considered mulatto, high yellow. That's why when Angela Bassett played her in American Horror Story, it didn't make sense to me because Angela Bassett is not mulatto. It's no disrespect, because if it was a brown-skinned woman in history, you would want a brown-skinned woman to play her. You won't want a light-skinned woman. That's the complaint from black people concerning Hollywood. They always use light-skinned people to play dark-skinned people. Right or wrong? You just want it played accurately. Same thing with me. If Marie Laveau was a high yellow mulatto woman, I don't want Angela Bassett to play her, because she's not a mulatto woman. It's not an accurate projection of who Marie Laveau was. Okay, she was not nothing like that. So it puts history in the wrong perspective. Marie Laveau had more bloodlines. That's why she was spiritually powerful. Bob Marley had more bloodlines. That's why he was powerful. The more blood, I proved this with them two right there. Right? Malcolm X, multiple bloodlines. More powerful than Martin Luther King Jr. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what it was. You know what it was? More bloodlines. He had more bloodlines than Martin Luther King Jr. You see Malcolm X, multiple bloodlines. MLK, no, the basic bloodlines. Couple bloodlines in there. MLK, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X had multiple bloodlines. He was more powerful. His intellect was on another level. I'm not saying one is dumber than the other, but I'm keeping it 100. He had more bloodlines. He was more powerful. He was going to the UN. Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't doing that. That's the chain of command. If you're a black person in America, you should be going to the UN. You ain't gonna go to the police. The police is on their side. The Freemasons and all these people are on their side. Why would you go to them? I ain't going to nobody in America no more. Even me, I filed a complaint. This is the end of my resume right here. This is the sum of my resume from earlier. I filed a complaint with the UN. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? Oh, you didn't know that. You didn't know that, did you? I filed a complaint with the UN and told them everything that these people doing. All this stuff, the Freemasons, all this games they playing in these buildings and stuff. Listen, I've been seeing this. I've been seeing this a mile away. I put in complaints to the UN. I got an official. I got the number and everything. I got my application number. I filled out a whole full complaint describing everything that these people are doing. The Freemasons, the Illuminati, black people, they gonna take it seriously. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I described the car convoys, all the cars driving by, all that stuff. How they're in organizations like this and all of that. Yeah. And the Freemasons are the main ones involved. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. That's why my sense of humor is the way it is. I got the multiple bloodlines. That's what it is. That's what it is, man. That's what I'm saying. So, that's why I'm a lot like Malcolm X. I got the multiple bloodlines. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. That's another thing. If you pay attention, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, man. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, yeah, I put a complaint in just like Malcolm X at the UN. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. So you might have some little friends out there, little buddy. Might have some extra little friends out there. Because I went to the UN this past spring and I filled out an official complaint about the Americans. Yeah. That's what I'm supposed to do. You think I'm going to sit around and play with these people for how long? I done beat them 1,000,000 times. They pathetic. Ain't nobody thinking they're competent as me. Okay, so how many more times I got to beat them? I'm not playing no games. I went to the UN. Ow. All. Around. Yeah, I went to the UN. And that's the perfect cover. So for anybody that ever, my name ever come up among circles of other people, I'm going to say, look, you want to know who I am? Let's go to the UN. Let's go pull up my application that I put in at the UN. Okay, a terrorist ain't going to go to no UN. I'm going to show you the dates and everything, which is receipts, that I went to the UN and all this stuff that I'm talking about that's going on. And listen, you choose to believe it or if you don't. If you want to or you don't. I don't care. Okay, but I'm going to show you where my head was at. I'm going to show you what I've been thinking. Okay, and listen, in the courts, it goes a long way. See, one thing I learned in the courts is if you get caught up in whatever crime you do, as long as you have something instead of nothing, it don't matter what it is. It don't matter how crazy it sounds. Long as you have something to say for yourself, that's going to be a lot better than saying nothing. Because they either going to believe you or they going to think you're crazy. And if they think you're crazy, they ain't going to charge you the same way they would charge somebody that is not, they don't consider to be crazy. So if they either believe you, that's going to work, or they're going to think you're crazy. And that's going to work for you too. Because they're going to think, well, this person's crazy. That's what happened. So we ain't going to judge this person the same way as we would judge a person that's mentally sound. Right? So, either way, if you come in there with a complaint, something, that's going to work always in your favor. That's what I understand. Okay, so, we just going to continue to take care of business, man. I don't play games with people that suffer from psychosis. That's all this is. It ain't real war. It's psychosis. It's a whole bunch of mentally sick people. That's all it is. And you have to realize that. See, my strong suit is mental hygiene. I got great mental hygiene. And that's how I was able to beat these people. All the games they played around my mind, I beat all of that. Okay? And that's that. We gonna kill all these sick people. They should have been put, most of these Freemasons, or what you call Illuminati and Freemasons, all of them should have been put in mental hospitals and throw away the key. Some sick people that's just in the room by themselves trying to read other people's minds and all kind of crazy stuff. They should have been put in a mental hospital, and you throw away the key and leave these people. They think they talented. You ain't talented, man. I'm talented. We changed the world. That's talent. You're mentally sick, using your energy to read somebody's mind, or any human being could do that. It's just energy. All you're doing is pointing the energy towards a certain person. That's not really spiritual. Any human being can do that to another person. We as good human beings just don't do it. So that's what you're feeling, is just people deviating from what normal human beings would do. That's all it is. It's no talent. All they're doing is placing their energy towards you in a way that a normal person wouldn't. And it feels like it's different, or it might be spiritual, but the truth is, it's just a messed up, whacked out person. You ever been around a real crazy person? You can feel the difference in the energy, right? Okay, it's just a whacked out person. That's all. I figured it out. And us as normal human beings, we just don't place our energy towards other people. Like when we playing around their mind and playing around their energy. So you will notice an acute difference when you're around these secret society people, but are just a whole bunch of mental people. Because all it is really they're not that spiritual. What they're doing is just abusing their own human energy to put it towards other people, which is not normal. So that's all you're feeling is this abnormal feeling of people putting their energy towards you like a normal person wouldn't, right? That's all it is. And that's basically how far it goes. I mean, meanwhile, we are the real spiritual people. We changing the whole community. Come on, man. Stop playing, man. That's what I'm saying. Them people mentally sick. Them bums. Them are bums, bruh. Stop playing. Them bums that need to be in a mental hospital somewhere, man. I call it how I see it. You know, we done changed the whole community. Maduro's in the borough in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? And all this stuff has changed. This whole community has changed. And people still acting like it's close for us to be compared to these bums. It's not close. It's not even comparable. Those are bums. You know what I'm saying? They whacked out. That's all it is. Whacked out, wacky, psychotic people. And they just putting their energy towards you. That's it. That's all. That's all you feel. That's all it is. It ain't. Is the energy doing really anything else? No. It's just latching on, trying to latch on. That's all. But our spirituality, because we at the top of the food chain as God's true people, our energy is changed. What we're doing is changing everything. That's what I told you, man. You should have let these suckers come out here. Acting like they gangsters and all this other stuff. Bipolar gangsters. You a bipolar gangster. Guarantee you that. You a bipolar gangster. You old bipolar gangster, you. You old bipolar gangster, you. You old bipolar gangster, you. You a bipolar gangster, bro. Which the police don't take seriously, do they? Oh, both police know bipolar. Oh, that's bipolar. Police told me, oh, ain't nothing wrong with you. You ain't crazy. The police tell you ain't crazy. All them crazy people they see. And I'm talking junk at that time. Police told me I ain't crazy. I don't care nothing about no whacked out black people talking about some whatever they talking about. Some whacked out doctor. I'm gonna go with people on the front lines of seeing all these crazy people. You know, people know ain't nothing wrong with me. Ain't nothing wrong with me. You just played with a black man and he ain't playing no games. That's it. See, when you go back to the origins, okay, now you can see why my position is what it is, and it wouldn't even be like this if this wasn't happening. So it's easy to judge this person that's been through all this stuff and try to judge his mental sickness. That's a real jerk, ain't it? Knowing all you've been through and try to through all of that, even with the black doctor, all I had already been through at that time, even at that time, how you gonna try to judge and diagnose me through all what I'm going through? You're too stupid. You can't do it. You got to consider all that I'm going through. Man, that's what I'm saying, bro. Lames. Lame to the game. You know what I mean? Lame to the game of life. Lame to the game of life, buddy. It ain't worth it. That's what I'm talking about. Ain't worth it at all. Like, booty. People booty like I don't know what, man. They ain't even worth it. Listen, they had a chance so many times to prove who they were, and they proved nothing. They put me in these situations, in these type of buildings like this, over and over again, and proved nothing. You just prove how more pathetic you are every single time. And the world is getting worse and worse, where now nobody can deny it, man. God's kingdom rules and reigns, man. We the best. And that's the bottom line. And you suffer from mental sickness. And that's the bottom line. That's it. You ain't fooling me at all. Crazy, bat crap crazy and think everybody else crazy. No, listen, I'm in war. I'm in war, real war. With more than just you. Oh, you thought it was just you, right? You flattered yourself. Listen, man, it's the whole country. We dealing with the whole thing and the satanic kingdom. We fighting the whole satanic kingdom. And you gonna let somebody gonna come in and judge me, bro? Man, listen. Ain't no way in the world, bro. Ain't no way in the world. See, that's the truth. Really, listen, they don't know how much spiritual warfare a real Christian is going through. And I ain't never been suicidal a day in my life. My granddad was a killer. He killed somebody. You understand me? My granddaddy killed somebody. He used to have a gun. He used to clean his gun. My grandma used to tell me he used to clean his gun. And he killed somebody. Mm-hmm. And he killed himself. Right? That's why I didn't get to know my grandfather, because he killed somebody. And I didn't get to know him. So it's one thing to be out there with the killers. It's one thing. See, that's why people don't really understand my dad. My dad, he had to live with that from a young age, where his dad killed somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's like something that my family really didn't talk about. But it was tragedy from day one. From the time I was born, it was tragedy, because my dad was living through all of that. And now I realize it. Like, he was living with the fact that his dad killed somebody and all that stuff. So, that's why everybody's disposition is you don't know why people are the way they are. You know what I'm saying? Simple-minded people, think they'll know everything. I just can't stand people like that. I just can't stand. You watch them make a fool of themselves every time. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to say you've been around killers. It's one thing to have killers in your bloodline. Them wind up being the best soldiers. The ones that come from the bloodlines, they got killers in their bloodlines. I'm just saying. The ones that got killers in their bloodlines, them be the best, the toughest. And it's one thing, you got some thugs, and they mom them was conservative. They family, they whole family was conservative, and they was the thug, but you ain't had no killers in your family, your bloodlines, in your direct bloodline. There was nobody that killed anybody in your blood, in your let's put it like this, not your cousins. That's among your peers. We ain't talking about that. We talking about your ancestors. Like beyond your dad and your granddad, and you got killers right there, right? Or your mom or your grandma, killers around there. You ain't have no killers around that area of your bloodline where you got the blood of those people, right? You know what I mean, right? Right, yeah. So it's just like that's why I trip off people. I know how real life is. You know what I'm saying? I these lames, you know what I'm saying? I could tell you a real story. It started from a bloodlines where, like I said, my granddad killed somebody right there in Charlotte. Yep, that's why I never got to know my granddad. I would love to know a granddad, because they got wisdom, they smart, they old, they know a lot. You know what I'm saying? I never really got that. You know what I'm saying? I never really got that kind of figure in my life that was like way older than me with the wisdom and all of that. Well, I got that from my grandmother, but not like a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why, because he killed somebody. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather killed somebody. So that's why, like, that's the story of our family. My mom know everybody, and so and like I said, some people come from conservative families, and even though you did get your thug on or whatever, it's not in your blood. You know what I'm saying? It's not. We can't go back and see killers certified. We can't see no killers in your bloodline. Drug dealers is one thing, killers is another. Like, these white folks don't know the difference. I do. You got drug dealers sell all the drugs in the world. They ain't no killers. They ain't bit no killer. There's nobody else out here. You know what I'm saying? They sell drugs. They good with people and everything like that. And at some point, if they have some real rivalry or something happen, they might send some goons or whatever. But manually, manually, they probably would never kill nobody themselves hands on, right? And they may have never came from it. They ain't got nobody in their family that came, they just big drug dealers. They just sell drugs. You know what I'm saying? And then and especially if you've been doing it for a while, or if you got family, you come from the hype of that, and then you get unchallenged. So you got some drug dealers that are just unchallenged because just the reputation of their family, So they ain't no killers. They just selling drugs. They just selling drugs. That's all. They ain't got no challenges. They ain't never been around. They ain't got no killers in their bloodlines. Nothing like that. Maybe the beginning of the drug family in their bloodlines, somebody caught a body way back. You know what I mean? But it ain't relevant. It ain't relevant. And they might never catch it. You can't assume that a drug dealer will kill. You can't assume that. You can't assume that ever. You can't assume he sells drugs. It almost seems like it's like that, but it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not always like that. But like I said, my granddad was a killer. That's just like Menace to Society, where Kane dad was a killer. Right? Remember that? Menace to Society at the beginning of the movie. The dude owed him money. And Kane watched his dad catch a body. Then he wind up getting out there and getting his thug on himself. He wind up thugging himself. But see, a lot of people in my family don't know that story. They don't know that because they just don't. That's on my dad's side. That's the less ghetto side, if you will. You know what I mean? Well, not really, but but kind of, but the tragedy was right there with my grandmother. Like, that was her husband. He killed somebody. So my grandmother husband killed somebody, and that was the center of me going over there on my dad's side, was being with my grandmother. And the whole time, that was the story. I was born into that tragedy. That's why it was this always, now I realize what the feel was. There was always this, it was love and everything there, but that was part of the tragedy, was my grandfather killing somebody. And that's real life, because some people come from a very conservative family. Like I said, and they wind up thugs and gangsters and everything like that. And I'm not taking nothing from it, but you don't always find people that can say, well, yeah, my granddad killed somebody. My granddad was a killer. He used to have a gun. My granddad used to always have a gun. My grandmother told me he used to clean the gun all the time. And he just loved his gun. That's what my grandmother told me. He used to love cleaning that gun. Always cleaning that gun and everything. He took pride in his gun, so which means he was already a killer before it happened. You know what I'm saying? He was already like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's not something that you can take away from my story. You can't. Just what it is. That's the story of my family. And being that it was your granddad, that's like a little. That's one thing to say your cousin or something like that on the side. That's your peers. But your granddad killed somebody, so. And me, I'm a soldier. I'm a soldier. You know what I mean? But his blood is in me. My grandfather's blood, you know what I'm saying? I'm a soldier. But I believe in being a marksman and carrying weapons just like he did. I believe in that. The only reason I ain't got it is because I haven't settled down to get it. I've been putting my money in other places, but I can show you I had the money to get it. But I've done other things right now. That's the reason why. That's the reason why. So, people that think they know me, they're stuck on stupid, you know what I'm saying? You done lost your mind, little buddy. You know what I'm saying? But I want to talk about. I want to show this scripture. about God's people, and even if you're God's people, how you got to be careful with putting your mouth on God's people and playing around God's people. Because see, there's some people, even with discernment and all this, test the spirit by the spirit and test the fruit and all of this stuff and all of this. There's people that will sit up and think they got a license to play with you. They could think they got a license to play in your lane. You know what I'm saying? And it's a thin line, you know what I'm saying, between seeing who you are as a Christian and just in playing with a grown man. You know what I'm saying? It really is. It's a thin line. You know what I'm saying? You know, I can come on now, think about it now. I can receive what you're saying. At the same time though, you know, for it to even be properly received, you gotta respect a man as a man. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be just treating people like boys. And see, that's where I don't do that. But if you act like a boy, I'm gonna treat you like a boy. That's the difference. Now, if you act like a boy, I'm gonna treat you like one. Okay, Numbers. I'm gonna be coming from Numbers, the 12th chapter. You know, life is real. I mean, I talk about real life, man. That's why, like, the stuff that, you know, you can see right in my family. I mean, how can you ever think I'm on cartoon time is besides me? You know what I'm saying? I don't know whatever made you think that. I can show you all kind of tragedy in my family. Kids being killed in my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, my little cousin was 19. She got killed. Her throat got cut going to her baby daddy's house. She went to her baby's daddy house. This is still my dad's side. She went to her baby daddy house. That's why I can't say it ain't ghetto either, because they over there on West Boulevard too. I got a cousin over there on the other side. I got family on both sides on West Boulevard. You know what I'm saying? So she was over there in like Little Rock Apartments, I think. Yeah, I heard she was over there in Little Rock Apartments. And she had went up to see her baby daddy for some money or something. So he had another female in there, which that was his fault. He shouldn't have had no two females in the same room. So my cousin went up there to probably get money. You know what I'm saying? Come on, let's be real. She probably went there to get money or whatever. So she fell out with the woman, the girl that was up there. And she cut her throat. She came back down because my other cousin was waiting for her, right? She came back down bleeding out. Like getting in the car, like running down there, bleeding out. She hit her just right. And mind you, this West Boulevard, so that girl who did it was probably already, you know what I'm saying, she was ready for stuff like that. That's what it was. And you know, females gonna be feisty. My cousin probably was feisty, you know what I'm saying? But this chick was living on West Boulevard. She was just already ready for stuff like just that ready. And if you ain't on guard and you ain't used to war and combat, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't used to being challenged or fighting or anything like that, you're gonna be rusty. You know what I'm saying? And a person that's on West Boulevard always drinking and arguing with everybody and fighting, they gonna be ready to do something just like that. And if you rusty, that's for these old heads too. And these people that ain't really out in the streets. If you rusty, man, people gonna take just a little. It's all it takes is a little window of you being a little rusty, and it's over for you. And it don't matter about no reputation or nothing you got. You rusty. You know what I'm saying? And if you come out here, that's how I know you're rusty. I can listen to how you talk. You talk too much. You talk too loud. You know what I'm saying? You don't never let your voice be heard. You don't never let no ops hear your voice. You know what I'm saying? Because I hear your voice. All I'm going to do is be on guard. And I could listen. If I was crazy, I'd take one of you. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't let nobody hear your voice. You ain't that bad. You ain't that bad because you too vulnerable. You always vulnerable. That's why you don't let your voice be heard, because you're a human being that's vulnerable to everybody. I could just wait for you outside this building. I can make you vulnerable. How about that? I can make you vulnerable. I can post up and wait for you. You know what I'm saying? You don't never let your voice think you that bad when you can let your voice echo through a hall and play with somebody like me like that. Because if I want you, I can get you. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nobody in this building can stop it. The police can't stop it. Who can stop it? That's what a real one gonna say. If I want you, it's gonna be too late if the police come. You know what I'm saying? You don't ever play with somebody that's from the streets, bro. You don't ever play with nobody like me. And I'm young on top of that. You slipping, man. As soon as you make your voice known and you play with me, I can do whatever I want to do to you. That's how I look at it. I can do whatever I want to do to you whenever I want to do it. And you're going to be so stupid with your guard down, I can do whatever I want to do to you. And then all I've been through, I can just go down there and take my pick and just take it out on you, because I know all of y'all in my politics and I can just take my pick. You ain't think about that, did you? Well, I'm all in this politics. I could just say, well, you know, forget it. I'm going to just take me somebody down there because I heard all of them anyway. Boom. Close enough, right? Right. You a sucker, man. Let me tell you something, man. I could have got you. I could have got anybody in this building. You know what I'm saying? I could have. That's all of you. I could have got you. But you ain't worth it. That's all I want you to know. You ain't worth it. I could have got you, though. Like I said, man, I lost my little cousin. And she was 19 years old. I didn't even get to see her around that time. I went to a funeral and everything, man. You know, and yeah, somebody cut her throat. She bled out. She went back. Once she was in the house with her baby daddy, she came back out bleeding down to the car. And I'm guessing my other cousin rushed her to the hospital, but she didn't make it. I had another cousin on my dad's side. He was 17. He killed himself. He blew his head off. Like, once again, he was down there on West Boulevard. Actually, I think Little Rock Apartments again. That's a rough area, you know. So, in his case, he wanted to get some. He was kind of like a little spoiled, you know what I'm saying? And he wanted to get some money from his mother, and she didn't have it. She was a nice lady, you know. That it was my cousin's girlfriend. He ain't had no kids by her though, you know. And he wanted some money from his mother, so he didn't get the money, and he slammed the door real loud. You know, if you ever slam the door real loud, you know what that is. So he slammed the door real loud, called his girlfriend and told her, hey, be at my funeral, and shot himself on the phone with his girlfriend. Now that wasn't directly from my bloodline. That was my cousin's baby, you know, girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? He really dated her for a long time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, he killed himself. He wasn't number 17, bro. 17. He hated the fact that he was broke. You know what I'm saying? But my thing, what was so funny about his story was he had a strap and everything. Before he went that far, he should have just went out doing licks. He should have went out and did him a couple licks, man. You already got a gun. You know what I'm saying? Your mom ain't got no money. Why stay home? Try to go out. That's why I say he was spoiled. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna have a strap? You know what I'm saying? And you ain't gonna go out and get no money. And you broke. You know, you asked your mom for some money, but you got a strap. See, but he wasn't built. I guess he wasn't built like that. Nah, I think he was a little young dude. Cause he was a baby boy too. So I think he was a little spoiled. You know what I'm saying? Sitting around smoking weed. You know the type. Probably just sitting around chilling with a little strap on him. My thing, but in West Boulevard it's hard, so that's probably what discouraged him, man. You know, he probably knew he couldn't just come out there. It wasn't gonna be easy to just rob nobody. You know, it ain't gonna be easy. Not West Boulevard without shooting somebody. You know, it ain't gonna be too easy. So that's what I think it was. Maybe, you know, he was a little young dude. You know, he might have felt he couldn't, because he was a little dude. He was a little slim dude. He probably felt like, you know what I'm saying, he can't catch nobody. But see, I would have just sat outside. I would have just went outside. Just played that bum loser position and just walk around with my strap. You know what I'm saying? Seeing if I can catch somebody slipping. I'm just saying I ain't living that life but now. But I ain't condoning it. I'm gonna put it like that. I'm not condoning it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm not condoning it. I always like to be thorough about what I say and what energy I put out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna never say something I ain't do. You know what I'm saying? But the last time I seriously was thinking about robbing somebody, I was here in New York, and I had this guy. I had already beat down somebody in front of him, like in the streets in Queens by Far Rockaway. I beat somebody down in front of him. This dude went to school with 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying? So this dude was like a little bit older than me. He was like about 6'3" and about 200 pounds, 230 pounds, 220 pounds, something like that. About 220. Yeah, about that. And me and him was out, and he wanted to go rob people. Me and him was on the prowl going to rob people. And I got arrested that night. So that's the last time realistically that I pondered the thought. That's the time I pondered the thought, and I was following through. Cause he the one that came up with the thought, like, well, let's just go rob some people. I'm like, okay. Cause it's me. For me, it's always been one-on-one with me and somebody else. I ain't never rolled with a whole bunch of people. I like it one-on-one. If I do crimes, just me and somebody else. That's it. Not even 2, 3, 4, 5 other people. Just me and another person. That's how it's always been for me. One other time I did, the last real good felony I did was less than 10 years ago. Well, now it's almost 10 years ago. We took a car right off the car dealership parking lot. Fresh. This dude, old school dude, got the keys, went and got the car. I drove it to safety, so if the police found us right after it happened, I would have been driving. We got a car fresh off the car dealership parking lot. That's the last felony I did that was serious, and that was just now 10 years ago. Not even literally 10 years ago. So I'm just being transparent. You know what I'm saying? That's the last crime I did. I didn't get caught, and a lot of times I haven't gotten caught. The first felony I really did, we stole a whole bunch of guns. We broke in a house and stole a whole bunch of guns. Me and my cousin. We got away with it. And then he did it again, and we got away with it again. I was an accessory the second time because he had a whole bunch of shotguns and he wanted me to hold them. So I held him down, and I was like, and this shows you how dark my life was, because I was a Christian. I had just became a Christian, like how I am now. But my cousin was still thugging and robbing and doing stuff like that. So he stole he went and hit the same house and stole some more guns, and he wanted me to hold the guns for him. So I'm like, okay, I'll hold them. Cause you got that brotherhood, that criminal brotherhood, that kind of thing, When you first a babe in Christ, if you ever been in the streets, you can say that I still kind of did some things, a little bit. Not as bad, I kind of stayed out the way a little bit, but I still kind of did some crimes, because I could have got it locked up for accessory. If the police found out what happened, they would have came back to me. I would have had all the guns. But I'm a Christian. But I got convicted by the Holy Spirit. This is how I know I really changed. I knew I changed because I wasn't down with it no more. I was like, yo. I called my cousin. I got a hold of him. I was like, yo, you got to come get these guns, bro. That's what I told him. That's what I'm telling you. People don't know how I was, man. That's why I told him. I said, yo, you got to come get these guns. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm living a Christian life. You know what I'm saying? I'm convicted about this. I'm not the same person. I really changed. You know what I'm saying? And I told him that, but this is how dark my life was. I was still doing crimes. I was still doing crimes technically. I was still doing crimes. Like, yeah, basically, if the police wouldn't have tried to hear nothing about me not going in the house, you have the guns in your possession. They gonna look at me as the one that had the guns. I'm gonna get the whole rap. If my cousin just fell back, which he probably would, think about it. You know, in some cases, some people might say they did it. You know, they went ahead and did it. But think about it though. He gonna go ahead and he gonna feel like that's, you know what I'm saying? You gotta go ahead and take that. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Some people gonna feel like that. I hate it happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that. He write me from prison, but I write him while he in prison. Cause me and him was like close like that. You know what I'm saying? I done wrote him since I've been here. You know what I'm saying? You know, I always did. Like me and him became like basically kind of like brothers because we started doing crimes together. You know, and when he got locked up, I used to write him, and we just had very similar lives. Just me and him as individuals. His grandmother loved him and did stuff for him and bought him video games. My grandmother loved me and bought me video games. They used to get together and buy stuff for us. Both of us, just us two. And we wound up doing crimes together. That's how life worked out, you know. But he in prison right now. You know what I'm saying? And I wrote him just since I've been here. You know, so that just lets you know, man, like, you know, for people that doubt me, you know, and think it's a game, you know, that's my part of my story. You know, now if you listen to my brother, did you hear him anywhere in that story? In these stories, in all the stuff I told you? Okay, so then he didn't know. He shouldn't know what his older brother is doing. He didn't know what I was doing. He assumed he knew. He assumed. You know what I'm saying? He talk about geographically being out in the world, and I'm the one that wind up doing that the most. You know, he talking about he out there in the streets, and he was a late bloomer at best. I was in juvenile hall like kids get. I mean, the first time I got in trouble at school, I was in elementary. I got caught with brass knuckles in elementary. That's like some stuff you see in the movie. So I already was, like, in elementary, I was already starting to become a bad kid. I was bringing brass knuckles. And, you know, kids are snitches in school. Somebody told that I had the brass knuckles. That's how they knew. And so that was the first time my mom and my stepdad had to come to school when I was in elementary for taking brass knuckles. You see the violence already? Because you can kind of see that path already. In elementary, taking brass knuckles, if I would have hit one of them kids, I could have hurt them real bad. But somehow I took brass knuckles to school. I took them from my stepdad. I stole them from my stepdad, and I took the brass knuckles to school, and I got caught with the brass knuckles. I remember they was blue steel, like a blue, that metallic blue. They was metallic blue brass knuckles. But that was elementary, and then middle school, I was getting in fights and skipping school, and all that. By the time I got to high school, I pulled a weapon on somebody and got kicked out. That's how I got kicked out. That's why I didn't go to high school, because I pulled a weapon on somebody, and the security was pulling it out of my hand, and I was kicking on the walls. I looked real crazy because I was kicking on the walls and everything. The dude basically backed up and backed out. He got some hits on me and then backed out. Okay? And sometimes I let stuff go and sometimes I didn't. You know, and so that's just basically how it ended for me. That's how it ended for me in high school. So, you know what I'm saying? Any other things, that's how I'm not trying to hold to this certain persona, but that's basically how I left high school. So basically that's what it was. That's how I left. I pulled a weapon on somebody. They pulled me out. It was so dangerous, they didn't want me to come back. I didn't get suspended. I had to go to a whole nother school. So think about, that's high school. That's through school. Elementary, middle school, then high school. You always get in these fights, or you got these brass knuckles in elementary. You're fighting through school and middle school. You go to high school, you pull weapons on somebody, and you get thrown out of school, and you know, and you're doing crimes. You start doing crimes. you start doing crimes or whatever, and I started shooting guns because I had a little white friend, and he had all these guns, right? Started shooting guns, everything. But like I said, I got convicted by the Holy Ghost to not take the gun, to not have these guns anymore. So I told my cousin to come get the guns. You know what I'm saying? So that show you I wasn't just playing around with sticks and stuff like that. You know, that's a dangerous type of person that's stealing guns. This person's handling guns, for crying out loud. And I was a teenager. I wasn't even in my 20s. I wasn't even in my 20s. So what kind of mentality you think that gave me? The mentality to be able to, at minimum, to defend myself. You know what I'm saying? That's common sense. If you stealing guns and you holding guns for other people, what kind of person you think I'm gonna be? At the end of the day. That's just common sense, man. That's just common sense. It's not hard to understand. And some people, they never still do crimes, and it involves guns and real guns, shotguns and things like that. And the last time I actually had a gun in my possession was my stepfather my stepfather told me, I told my stepfather to bring me a gun. And my stepfather brought me a gun. That's the last time. It was this dude. This is how it happened. I was staying with my female. You know how it is. You know how it is. It's always, the truth is, man, when you staying with a female, if you really think about it, I've been blessed God has been protecting me, because when you stay with women, that's when stuff pop off. That's when it can pop off. Think about it. You ain't off balance, but you know what I mean? You kind of in the lovey-dovey, kind of with this girl, you know what I mean? Anyway, I was staying with one of my females, and she actually had moved back into my old neighborhood where I used to sell crack. Where I sold a little crack. She moved over there, right? And I don't know why she moved. Well, she was from out of town. She ain't know no better. In Charlotte, the West Charlotte and North Charlotte is community. You don't move, if you're from out of town, you don't move in North Charlotte or West Charlotte. You can, but to me, you should go to the east side or to the south side if you're from out of town. You don't go to North Charlotte or West Charlotte, because it's too community oriented. It's generations and generations of Charlotte people that it really is just community. It's too close knit. Like a village. It's like a village, literally. And you can live there. Yeah, you can do it. But then the community gonna show up, and it might not work to your favor in all cases. You're gonna just be considered an outsider, and that's just not gonna work good for you being a grown man, not playing into these theatrics that the streets like to play into. They love to play into the theatrics of things, the streets and all of that, and putting pressure on you, trying you, all that, right? That ain't gonna be good for a grown man, period. Because you ain't gonna let nobody challenge you too hard, So in Charlotte, you shouldn't go to the west side or the north side. And I lived on both sides of. My mom lived in North Charlotte. That's what people don't know about me in the beginning. She stayed in North Charlotte, and her husband, my stepfather, all his family was living in North Charlotte, right? So then we moved to West Charlotte after North Charlotte, but I was living as a kid in North Charlotte first. We moved to North Charlotte first, but we had family in West Charlotte. But my fondest memories as a little kid when I had a friend from Chicago, I had a friend that his family was from Chicago, old school Chicago. This was the 80s. This was like the 90s, the late 80s to the 90s. So his family was old school Chicago. And my friend Gerard, you know what I'm saying? Me and Gerard used to play football together. You know what I'm saying? He was straight from his family's from Chicago. I think he was born in Chicago. So this was old school Chicago. You know what I'm saying? And I met his family. His sister liked me and everything. She was crushing on me. I met his mom, his dad, everything. So I actually was embraced by a Chicago family in Charlotte, you know. And they was from old school. They were black people. So they was from the hood. You know that. You know, and his dad was like a big stocky dude. You know what I'm saying? He carried his weight. He just had that stocky, tall, kind of tall and stocky. You know what I'm saying? But they were good people. They just acknowledged me as like a kid. I remember them just acknowledging me like a kid, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? I hung with him, and that was my friend from Chicago in North Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? Then I moved to West Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? So I was around somebody growing up that was from Chicago. That's the crazy part about it. You know, that's the real crazy part about it. You know what I'm saying? That's real funny. You know what I'm saying? And but after North Charlotte, I went to West Charlotte and everything. And even then, when I was in North Charlotte, I was doing little stuff, little bad stuff. Like kids would challenge me to do stuff like for example, one time, like it was this big plaza, like a plaza in the South. Everybody know what a plaza is. Like, so in this neighborhood we was living in, the back of the plaza had all these windows in the building, because this was like the 80s, the 90s. You know, it was just less sophisticated. So it was the back of this plaza. There was no pavement, no park drive-through. It was just like a gate to the window. It was like it wasn't even a gate. It was just like, it was just a really old school. They just built it and it was just dead, right? It was just there. So somebody told me to bust out one of the windows. So I was like a little kid. So they was like, do it like Rocky. I remember the dude say, do it like Rocky, right? Like, do it like Rocky. When the little ghetto kids, that was the ghetto. The little ghetto kids, like, do it like Rocky, man. Like, so I took like this big cement cylinder and just threw it through a window and ran, and we all ran. This bell went off, and I was just getting juice then. I was building juice right then as a kid to do stuff, to do crimes, because that's basically what black kids wind up doing. Bad stuff that builds juice to later on you start doing crimes. That's what happens. You start out doing little bad, mischievous stuff like that, busting windows out, and then they put bars on all the windows once I did that. They put bars on all the windows. And then my mom, I tried to run into the house. This is how I know I was dealing with some suckers, because like all the kids I tried to run in their house, they wouldn't let me in. So I had to go back home. And then my mom, so I wound up telling my mom what I did. She was like, well, they might take you from me. They might take you from me. That's what she said. That's what my mom said. They might take you from me like that, because I did that. See, I was doing stuff like that as a kid. And then it was building juice. So then I went to the west side. And I just started smoking weed first, and me and my cousin did crimes, and then I started shooting guns, and I started selling crack. You know, I sold a little crack. I wasn't night and day selling crack. I wasn't nothing like that. I just very casual, but enough to have it in my possession, and I can say I cut up crack myself. I cut up my own 20s. Took a rock, cut up my own 20s. I know what that's like. I can say that much. So I like to put it like I just got my feet wet. I know what it is to get a transaction. I know what it is to cut up crack. I done been around drug dealers, crack dealers. You know what I'm saying? Just me and them one-on-one. You know, nobody else, no kids, no family, just me and a couple crack dealers that's used to selling crack. They used to selling crack obviously more than me. So I can say I hung with, smoked weed and drank with drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? But smoked weed and drank with drug dealers. They wanted me to do cocaine one night, and I chose not to. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom raised me up where she used to do cocaine, and she told me when I grew up, don't do cocaine. So my mom installed that in me. So when my time came to take a line and do some coke, I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I was hanging with the homies. We were smoking. We were drinking 40s. You know, just chilling. And he was like, yo, you know, Donnell, you want to do some cocaine, man? I'm like, nah, I'm cool. So I had my own willpower to not do it. You know what I'm saying? I could have been one of them dudes hanging with drug dealers doing cocaine. I was around them type of dudes. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I didn't do it. I didn't do any cocaine. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that was my last felony that I did. You know, I was 35, about 35, 34, 35. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so back to the story where I was in my neighborhood with my female. She was in this neighborhood that I used to live in, right? So I come to live with her. She already had been living over there. And remind you, this is the neighborhood that I actually did step on the block and make a transaction. I actually did do that. I actually posted up on another place too, right? And I actually had a crack dealer that I used to get my crack from in this same neighborhood. This is the same neighborhood I came up in. She didn't know this. She couldn't have knew this. So the next door neighbor directly in front of us, when I'm taking out the trash, I come and take out the trash. This dude got a gun. I see the gun. But it ain't freaking me out. You know what I'm saying? But he's like, maybe like 10 yards away from me. Because it's like a narrow, skinny road. And the edge of the road is just like 10 feet. He's 10 feet basically from the trash that I put out. So I see the gun. They got like an infrared beam, but the beam is green, right? So I see this infrared on this gun, and it's on this pistol. So I walk away and turn my back, and I'm going to the side of the house because I ain't going to the front door. You know, in most hood houses, you ain't gonna go through the front door. You're gonna go through the side door. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going through the side door. I'm on my way back. I done put the trash out. You know, you the man in the house. You put the trash out. So he started shooting up in the air once I got on the side of the building. So to me, that's just how he did it. Which I would have just waited for the person to get in the house if I just wanted to shoot the gun for fun or whatever. But for me, for him to do it while I was on my way in the house, I felt some type of way about it. Even though I don't feel like he pointed it at me or nothing like that. I still feel some type of way. I wasn't scared. I just felt some type of way about it. So I was like, I got on the phone and I called my stepdad and I was like, yo, I need you to bring me a gun. You know what I'm saying? This dude shooting next door. You know what I'm saying? Shooting in the front yard. It was crazy. So once I explained the situation, he didn't feel no type of way. He came right through. Brought me a shotgun. Boom. So that's the last time I got a gun. I got a gun from my stepdad, and I told him he brought me a shotgun. That was probably like about 10 years ago, almost. I think so, yeah. It might have been 9 or 10 years ago. Well, that was 10 years ago. Yeah. That's the last time, you know, with a gun, a situation with a gun. Because, like I said, the dude was shooting in the front yard. And I'm like, that's weird. And I know that was the politics and all the stuff that these people started. My brother started. Now I'm smart enough to know that. Now it all makes sense. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. They went that far to where it was all in the hood like that. So then I called my stepdad and said, yo, I need you to bring me a gun. He came over. He reversed. reversed the car in the driveway while my girl was home, while my girl was gone, because she was an Allen woman, and she went from America, you know what I'm saying? So she ain't like guns in the house and all of that. So I already talked to her about guns in the house. She didn't want no guns in the house. She already said it, so I had to sneak the gun in and lay on the gun and lay on the shotgun. I had to lay on it, you know what I'm saying? So that's when I started, as far as me and her go, I started sleeping in the other room because I had me a shotgun in there. All I needed to do was go get me some shells. That's all I needed to do. But yeah, but that tells you what type of person I am. Just in case, I'm the type of person to get on the phone, and if my family got a gun, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get a gun, and if somebody's stupid enough to try me, if I got the gun, I got the ammo, you gonna get shot. And that's coming from my family. That's not a game. I don't know what made you think I was somebody to play with. You know what I'm saying? You listen to the wrong niggas. That's what you did. Whether it be my brother, whether it be people from Charlotte, or whatever it was, you listen to the wrong niggas. This is who I am. I'm the type of person, when shots lick off, I don't fold up. I'm going to go make me a call and give me a gun. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm going to do. And all I had to do, if I stayed over there long enough, all I had to do is go get me some boxes of shells, and I would have been very good. If I would have had me that shotgun over there with boxes of shells and everything like that, and that's all you need to understand about me. That's all you need to understand about me, is that, okay, the last time I had a gun in my possession, it was a shotgun. And if you would have played with me, if I would hit you one time with that shotgun in your chest, you would have been done. Okay? That's what type of man I am. If my family got it, I make a call. They don't think, they're not a conservative family. I'm going to get a gun from my family. And if somebody's stupid enough to come through, listen, they going to get it. You understand? And that's that. That's what I come from. That's my story. That's part of my story. I can't tell you what the next man done and what his situation was when he got guns from the family or whatever. My situation was somebody shooting up in the air in front of me like it's a game. I'm going to go, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to call my family and see what I can do. You know what I'm saying? All I had to do was get shells and everything like that. And that's all. You know what I'm saying? So if you sit up and listen to me and think it's a game and think I'm some kind of person to play the game, you must be retarded. You know what I'm saying? You must be the type of person that looks somebody in the face and gets shot in the head. That's how I look at you. It's like you the type of person that somebody can be talking like this and just shoot you in the head and you just die like a retarded person. Like you just never came to reality. You know what I'm saying? You never knew death or danger was right in front of you. You know, I ain't one of them people like that. I know if danger is in front of me. I know. I don't play with people, and I don't let people play with me. You know, so keep in mind, I've been around killers and all of that too. You know what I'm saying? That too. People done caught bodies and stuff. The first dude I was around that caught bodies, here in New York, was a Jamaican dude. He was only 20 years old and he already was a killer. You know what I'm saying? That's here in New York, in Brooklyn. I was right here in Brooklyn, me and him. And me and him used to drink together, drink vodka, smoke weed. I met his mother. I met his family. You know, I chilled in the Jamaican neighborhoods on Church Avenue in the 30s or whatever. I chilled over there in the Jamaican. I was around nothing but Jamaicans. I wasn't in the black neighborhood in Brooklyn. I was in the Jamaican neighborhood chilling with my Jamaican friend. He already killed somebody. He was already a killer. He told me the whole story, like how he killed somebody and he was crying, because a lot of killers gonna tell you they cry. Like if you meet somebody that talk about killers and everything and none of them say they ain't cry, you ain't met a lot of killers. Because when you start meeting a lot of killers, some of them gonna say, I cried when I killed somebody. I cried. I cried like a baby. I cried like a sucker or whatever. They'll say they just cried, you know. And but the reason why he said he cried, because that was like his brother, you know what I'm saying, that he killed. But he killed the dude, you know what I'm saying. And me and him was 100. We used to drink together, everything. Smoke weed. We never had. And the thing is, we ever had any problems between me and him. Nothing just totally misunderstandable, or where I just was lame, or I just didn't, rub him the right way or something like that. Nothing like that. Me and him was like chilling together, everything. We was out in East New York together because I had lived in East New York before I met him. Right? So I took him back out there. We went back out there just like looking for some weed, and sure enough, man, we found this dude. We was like that, looking for some weed. Mind you, we living in Brooklyn though. We living by Knickerbocker. You know what I'm saying? Over there by Knickerbocker, in the Mexican neighborhood over there by Knickerbocker. So working in the Ready Willie the Able program. In that program, that was the last time I had somebody drop cocaine on me. You know what I'm saying? This dude, he had a little bit of cocaine, and he wanted to, I guess, I don't know if he had a PO or he had to leave the shelter or whatever, but he threw it on me and said, yo, Marcello, I need you to hold this cocaine, right? So sure enough, he gave me some cocaine. I wrapped it up and put it in the bottom of my locker, you know what I'm saying? And when I left the shelter, I sold it off. It was just a little bit, but it was the principle. He dropped the cocaine on me. That's the last time I had cocaine in my possession, when I was in New York and Brooklyn, here in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So, but, yeah, I used to chill with this dude. This dude was a Jamaican. He killed somebody already, and the dude was 100. He was 20 years old. He was 20, so he was a young killer. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and he was Jamaican, which y'all know, let's just be 100. Like, Jamaicans are very more thoroughbred than I've been around them. They more thoroughbred than most black people. We already know that. They are seen as more thorough than black people. And I've been around them. I passed the smell test, past the Jamaicans. So that's what you don't know. I've been on Clarkson Avenue in the Jamaican neighborhoods. I know where that's at. I've been in the 30s in Church Avenue. I've been there too. But, you know what I'm saying? I didn't get no disrespect. Nobody disrespected me. You know what I'm saying? But, and I ain't I met his mother. This killer had a mother. I met his mother. I ain't disrespect her or violate her or look at her sexual. You know what I'm saying? Even though, this woman wasn't totally old. She wasn't an old woman. You know what I'm saying? But I was respectful. I didn't even think about that. You know what I'm saying? I showed love to his mom, and I met a killer's mom and all of that. That shows you how close me and him was. You know what I'm saying? I respected his mom. I respected him. Everything like that. We never had really no real serious situations. Now, it was nothing really serious going on. Yeah, it was nothing bad happened. The matter of fact, he said he glad he met me. I'm glad I met you, or whatever like that. So it was nothing bad that happened. Nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, as far as black people go, you know what I'm saying, I've been with the Jamaicans. So if you come to me talking about whatever you talking about, if you black, I'm gonna look at you like I done been around a Jamaican, a Haitian. I done had a Haitian friend, a Jamaican friend. I'm one of them type of people. I done been around Jamaican, Haitian, Ethiopians. I know the difference. I done been around Ethiopians because the one when I used to have braids, the lady used to braid my hair was a Ethiopian lady, nice, beautiful Ethiopian lady. Ethiopians are beautiful women. So I was sweet on her, man. She was sweet on me, but I was really sweet on her though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I used to always kiss her when she do my hair. When she get done doing my hair, I always kiss her, hug her, and kiss on her cheek, and she's beautiful, man. And me, like, yeah, she was that beautiful where you want to just like give her a kiss, for me, because she just my type. I like sweet women, so she was. I like, I pay her good money to do my hair, man, and I always hug her and give her a kiss and everything like that. Hey, that's how you know I wasn't gay, buddy. She was a beautiful woman, and I knew it. Hey, and I wasn't denying it. So I mean, I've been around the Ethiopians, the Haitians, the Jamaicans, and no disrespect. Like I had a Haitian friend, man. He had this Puerto Rican and Dominican woman. She was a prostitute, right? And they used to fall out. We used to smoke weed together. Me, him, and his Puerto Rican and Dominican girlfriend. And I never tried to hit on her or nothing. I'm that type of dude. If I'm your homie, I'm not gonna try to have sex with your girl, man. I'm gonna try to keep y'all together. You know what I'm saying? I'm like an angel for the couples. I'm gonna try to tell y'all to talk it out, work it out. I'm that type of friend. Nah, y'all work it out. That's the type of dude I am, man. So I can hang around a couple, smoke weed with a couple. I ain't trying to hit on your girl. That's the best. That's top quality. You know what I'm saying? Some dudes, you can't go to another level because as soon as you start hanging around a dude friend, a girl's, and y'all, if they fall out, a couple fall out, you trying to smash his girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, me, I'd rather have respect of both of them. I'd rather her respect me, and so I can use them and utilize them on another level instead of trying to have sex with her. So I used to chill, drink liquor with them, E&J and all of that, man, brown liquor. You know what I'm saying? White liquor, brown liquor. That's my Haitian friend. We drank brown liquor, white liquor together, smoked weed. And she was a Dominican and Puerto Rican, so she make the rice and beans and stuff. Man, we sit down, eat like kings, then drink and smoke weed. And I ain't violate him either, man. Like his girlfriend was a prostitute. You know what I'm saying? She came to the door in a teddy one time, like a teddy. Like, I'm like, man, a patent leather teddy. I knocked on the door. She came to the door with a teddy on. I'm like, okay. So, but I show love. You know what I'm saying? I ain't show no disrespect. That's in North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Her dad, I think, was from New York. Like, you know what I'm saying? She told me how her dad died from drinking, man. You know, I remember that. You know, but they was from Miami. They was in the Miami area. Her and the dude, they had came from Miami. So that's how you know them dudes. They were thorough. You know, they was thorough. They was living in Miami. So by the time I seen them, they was living in Miami. But I got him out of jail. He went to jail for something. I forgot what it was. I don't know if he was doing something to her or whatever, but I don't know. But I got him out of jail. I co-signed him, but they pushed it off on me. But you know, ultimately, man, you know, that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? I left it alone. They left me alone, and that's just basically what it was. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. Obviously, I didn't really know what happened, where they went or whatever, but it just went away. They was gonna hold me liable like that. He tried to threaten me like I was gonna be liable, you know, cause I signed on that. So they gonna look for me next. That's what they did. But ultimately, man, nothing came out of that. You know what I'm saying, or anything like that. So you know. Anyway, I've been with different groups of people from all different types of ethnicities, man, and for the most part, I'm gonna always come out clean, good and clean and everything like that. And so like I said, with the Jamaicans, I've always been thorough. I've been always cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, ultimately, I ain't never put nobody in jail. You know what I'm saying? When I figure out things and things for what it is, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never put nobody in jail. You know, even in that situation with the bond, it was kind of new to me because I know they ain't the police, but then, you know, at the same time still, he ain't go to jail, nobody get put in jail. He just ran off on the bond, after the bond, whatever, and they put it on me, but I kind of just talked my way out of it and they just left it alone. They ain't called me back. You know, but I'm just making my point that, you know, I don't know what you thought I was. I don't know who you think I was. But the last time I got a gun, like I said, I called my family. I get them, yo, bring me a shotgun. He brought me a shotgun. Boom. All I had to do was get shells for it, open somebody's chest up with my shotgun, buddy. That's all I'm saying. So, you know, before you judge my situation, I just want you to listen to me, hear me all the way out. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a Christian, I'm a soldier. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a snitch. I've never put nobody in jail. You know what I'm saying? My brother has put somebody in jail, and I'm still in communication with that person. That person's like my brother now. You know what I'm saying? I think people make mistakes sometimes and realize how bad it is to talk to the law. You know, they might not necessarily be a snitch, but you know, you might have broke under pressure. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes you might just not know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes the streets give a pass for that kind of stuff, and sometimes they don't. You know, because even the best will tell you, you know, sometimes you might make a wrong decision. If you start out, especially if you're young, you mess around and get out there, and before you know it, you kind of compromising. You know what I'm saying? You kind of compromising, and but you learn, okay, what not to do and what to do. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of come out pretty clean. You know, where it don't look so super, where it's not super obvious that you are a person that has the kind of heart to just tell on people. Because see, what it really is why snitches is not allowed. It's because you respect the game that feeds you. If you get fed from crimes, if you got fed from doing any kind of crimes, I've gotten fed from doing, which means I've seen myself come off the streets from doing something illegal to getting in a hotel and eating good with a pack of cigarettes and some vodka, right? Watching TV, eating good. I've come from nothing, and at the end of the beginning of the day, to something. No matter what the hustle is, it's the whole principle. Have you ever felt that feeling? That's being fed by the game, right? Why would you snitch on the game? When you snitch on somebody, you snitch on the game. That fed you. You know, if you ever been fed by the game, it's hard to snitch on it. It's hard to snitch on it because you understand that this is survival for some people. This is not just a game out here just trying to be cool. This is like life. This is food. This is a matter of food on your plate, getting off the streets. You know what I'm saying? That's the game. All these things represent the game. It's different games, but it's all ultimately the game that feeds you. That's the whole thing. So how can you snitch on the game that feeds you is the mentality. Like as a Christian, this is how I feel. You shouldn't go out there if God ain't gonna tell you to snitch on no drug dealers because God ain't gonna put you in harm's way. God ain't gonna tell you to do that. God ain't gonna tell you to snitch on a drug dealer and then you still gotta live in that same neighborhood where they don't even really honor you being no Christian. They don't really know, because they gonna feel like you should have mind your business as a Christian. That's how people gonna look at it. That's gonna be their logic. So they gonna look at you more as a busybody, some neighborhood watch, goody two shoe type of person. They might not even think you a Christian. They gonna think a Christian wouldn't even got involved because it's abnormal. It's abnormal for Christians to get involved with that kind of stuff. Think about it. They ain't gonna know. People, the streets ain't used to Christians getting involved with snitching on the streets. They too far removed from it. They don't even know who doing what out there, let alone to be able to snitch on somebody. So you're not gonna get esteemed as some Christian that's doing God's work. That's not how it goes, you know. So my point is, God wouldn't even have you put nobody in jail. It's not a wise thing to do. It's not a wise thing to do. Even if it's your own family, they could get you later. You know what I'm saying? In the case of my brother, you know, he can't play it like he was doing the righteous thing. He was trying to get revenge. That's all it was. Or he was scared that my cousin was gonna come back for him, so he tried to put him in jail before he came back. A paranoid person that don't really know the streets don't know how criminals think. I know how criminals think. A criminal is not gonna backtrack when they did a crime and come back and try to kill you with your own gun. My brother being paranoid, I know him, right? I guarantee you that's what he thought. So he called the police to get rid of him, get him off the street because he was scared he was gonna come back for him. Some little crazy stuff. You do you kind of remember when you first became a street dude, or you was a little more paranoid about things that wouldn't probably happen, and now you're older and you know some of them things would have never happened. But when you was young, you was more paranoid, right? He just stayed at that stage where he was just more paranoid, and he thought things that would happen that would never happen because he didn't think like a criminal. Once you get older, you start thinking like a criminal, right? So you know a criminal ain't gonna steal a gun from your house and come back and shoot you, because he ain't gonna backtrack where police could be patrolling trying to find the gun, trying to find you on the streets. Why he gonna backtrack and go over there? Doesn't make sense. I guarantee you that's what it was. My brother was scared that he was gonna come back and shoot him with his own gun or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I know how he think. I know how paranoid he is. You know what I'm saying? That's what he thought. That's the only thing that makes sense. More than snitching, he was scared that he was going to, more than getting revenge and just snitching, he thought he was going to come back and kill him. In some elaborate story that, you know, because of some words they had or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, a criminal ain't going to come back and backtrack like that. My cousin was a bona fide criminal at that point. He wasn't going to backtrack and come back and the police could be patrolling looking for you. A criminal gonna think like that. Somebody could be looking for me over there. Police. And you ain't gonna go back in that neighborhood for a long time. You might say for about 3 to 6 months. I wouldn't go over there for about 6 months. About 6 months. Maybe 6 months to a year. Yep, about a year for me now, these days. I wouldn't go back over there. Ain't no criminal gonna backtrack like that. That's what happened. So my brother put him in jail because he violated his probation. And he put him in jail. He had to do the whole 12 years. My brother put somebody in prison for 12 years. So if you ever think, for me, the difference between people that talk about snitching, to me, you gotta show me snitching. Which means you got to show me people you put in prison or people this person put in prison. If you're just talking about verbalizing or even calling the police, you got to show me snitching. That's what I'm talking about. Which means you got to show me people in jail, in prison. If you can't show me that, that's basically what it's all about. If you can't show me somebody in prison for whatever reason, whether I don't know if it didn't happen, it didn't happen. That's how I look at it. All that speculation and all of that, nah. You boil down snitching if somebody's in prison or jail for it. Boom. You show me that person. Show me the person in jail. If you don't show me nobody in jail, listen, bro. If you don't show me nobody in jail, it's not snitching. You ain't no snitching going on. You know? Okay, and so that's why I say I'll give a little room for dudes that may be amateur on this and amateur on that, and then you learn. Okay, boom, this, that, and the third. Okay, I understand what that is. I understand what that is. Okay, but then if we watch and you still see and you learn from your mistakes, but you still kind of a snitch, you just a rat, bro. But one thing can be tolerated. If the game fed you and you sit up there and you seen all this stuff go on and the game fed you and you put somebody in prison, I can easily see why they want you dead, because you got fed from the game yourself. That's the hypocritical part. You was right there with us. You was eating off the game too. You was surviving off this game. You was right there with us, getting money and everything. That's intolerable. But like I said, as a Christian, I could easily say God want me to do this, God want me to do that, to a certain degree. That's why even me, as a man of God, I gotta have a balance, because Jesus is almighty. I don't play with God. You know what I'm saying? So I can't stick with G codes as close as you could, which means as far as my philosophy, which means, okay, if God might want me to call the police in some cases. Think about it. If something happens where there's a crime around me that involves me, what you think God want to do? God ain't gonna try to get. God is gonna handle it for the most part. But what you think God want me to do? He want them people off the streets. So then you got to use good understanding. You know what I'm saying? Now, me personally, what makes me a little more refined in this situation, I'm not going to snitch on drug dealers. Because snitching is really reserved for drug dealers, because that's the main hustle going on. That's common sense in the hood. Okay, so if you are a person that tell on drug dealers, you obviously can't be in the hood. More than anything else. because that's all that's going on. So I don't tell on drug dealers. No, I ain't never tell that. Like, if that's just, you can't tolerate that. No sir. No, like, I ain't never told on no drug dealers. I ain't never done that. And like I said, I done felonies. I done a felony in the last 10 years. I ain't get caught. You know what I'm saying? I done got a shotgun from my stepdad. I didn't get caught in no situation with that shotgun. My stepdad drove in the back in the parking in the driveway, back popped the trunk, gave me the shotgun. My mom was in the car and everything. Gave me a shotgun, popped the trunk, gave me a shotgun. I snuck it in the house. He reversed the car, drove reverse into the driveway, popped the trunk, gave me the shotgun, just like that. You know what I'm saying? My point is when you see enough of that going on and like things like that, when you can do things like that, I don't know what make people think they could try somebody like that. Cause you're just comfortable. I'm just comfortable with the idea of defending myself. Like, I had a machete when I was here in New York the last time. I don't know why. I'm just more serious than most black people. They can be around hardware stores and don't get machetes, but they gonna get blades. They'll go get blades though, and that's just as legal. It's just as illegal as a machete. You know what I'm saying? If you have a blade that's bigger than 5 inches, that's illegal in New York, right? Okay, so what's the difference? If you walk around with illegal blades, you might as well. I'm just saying, I'm not condoning it, but I'm saying I had a machete, you know what I'm saying, in the house for the house. That's what I say, for the house. I got a machete for the house, but I walked around with the machete in New York City. I was that type of dude. Walking blocks and blocks, police probably around. I mean, but I didn't get caught. I had the machete on me and everything. I'm that type of dude. Not blades, a machete. I was walking around New York with a machete. That's what I'm saying. That's the proof in the pudding. That's why a person that has that mentality and has that energy, a machete, if I swing a machete and hit you one time, it's going to change your whole life. I've already priced machetes in this neighborhood where I'm at. Right here in Brooklyn. I already priced them. I went to the store and looked at them and everything here in Brooklyn. I keep my mind on weapons, man. I stay like that. That's why I trip off people, man, that play with me. Listen, I don't know what you've been told, bro. I don't know what you've been told, but you've been told the wrong information. Obviously. On purpose, probably. You know, yeah, like I said, I already done priced the machetes in this neighborhood. And you'll find black people never get machetes. That's a trip. That's a trip to me. Shoot, that's all I'm on. Well, you know what I mean. New York, sure. I come up here, especially y'all carry blades and everything up here. I'm surprised. Like, I ain't never heard a black person talk about no machetes in New York. I seen, like, the only person, the rapper, you know, rest in peace, Prodigy, on one of his latest albums, he had a machete. He had the same type of machete I had too. That's what's funny. I know where he got that from. He got it from a hardware store here in New York. Because I got the same type of machete. That I had the same type. Because they had the saw on one side, the blade on one side. So, you know. But I seen some nice machetes up the street over here where I'm living, right? These things are nice. The only difference is it don't have a saw on one side of the blade. It's just a straight blade on one side, and then it's not anything on the other side of the blade. I mean, that's fine. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? This dude showed me the blade, showed me the machetes and everything. And they only like $20. I'm like, really? Man, I'm getting me two. Because that was always what I wanted to do anyways, have two double machetes. If you pull out two machetes on somebody, you think they're gonna fight you? They're gonna run. If I pull out two machetes on you, you gonna try to argue with me? You gonna run like I got a gun. You ain't nothing you could do. I got two machetes in my hands. If wherever I hit, it's gonna change your life. You can't fight no machete, because as soon as I just swing it, you try to grab it, it's gonna change your life. That's the first reflex. Is somebody gonna try to grab it, or you gonna try to block it. As soon as it hit in contact, it's gonna change your life, bro. You're gonna have a gash in your hand. You're gonna see that and just go. You might go into shock just seeing the gash, because I'm gonna swing it extra hard, right? It hit contact, it's over. You listen, that's gonna change you. Then I'm gonna come with the other hand, boom, boom. It's nothing you can do. You're gonna beg for mercy. Please, please. That's what you're gonna say. I'm gonna tell you, that's what you're gonna say. You don't play with nobody like that, buddy. I study war, man. I'm not crazy. I study war. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, I done had plenty nights and days and nights and days thinking about war, buddy. And when you hear somebody talk like me, you know that. You know that. You know this person didn't just wake up one day talking like this. I've been like this for a very long time, buddy. You don't play with me, buddy. I already done priced machetes in this neighborhood. And I probably get them before I leave. You know, yeah, it's a good prices and everything like that. I give me 2 machetes, buddy. Listen, even if you got a gun, if you don't know what you're doing, and I got 2 machetes, if you don't know what you're doing and you hesitate just for 1 minute, it's over with, buddy. And that's with a gun. If you hesitate, like you playing with the gun, and I got 2 machetes, it's over for you. I'm the type of dude, I'm going to take full advantage of those little windows where people slipping. I'm going to take full advantage of that. You can't even slip with somebody that got 2 machetes in their hand and you got a gun. It's that dangerous. Because if I catch you slipping when you don't know what you're doing with that gun, and you play around and you hesitate, and I'm on you like that, it's over. It's over with. Because the first time I hit you with that machete, and I come around the second time, that's going to change your life, period. See, that's the thing about a machete. It hits you one time, and it changes your life. One time, it changed your life, buddy. Your whole life changed. You won't want to fight. Listen, you feel that one time, that steel hit you one, even just the block steel of it, it's going to stop you. Even if it wasn't sharp, it's still, that steel hitting you gonna stop you, bro. It could be a block piece of steel and it's not even sharp, and I hit you with that. That's gonna change your life. Like I like to put it, it's gonna change your life. I had worked up to getting a machete, and then I went to the West Coast. I went down south. I got a machete. I took it through the Greyhound. This is how lax. I'm not telling you to be like me. But I took a machete through the whole Greyhound system. I took it from Carolina all the way through Carolina to California, to Oakland, California. No, LA. Yeah, I went through LA. I got to LA with the machete. I still had it. I got to Oakland with the machete. I proved the type of person I am. You think I'm okie doke? I took a machete through the whole Greyhound, the whole system, cross country. That's how lax it is. That was last year. I took a machete. I'm not humiliating the Greyhound system or America by saying that, but I'm just showing you what type of person I am. As a criminal, I took a machete through the whole Greyhound system. That means all them checking and all that stuff they doing, switching buses and everything. I ain't incriminate myself. I ain't look like I had nothing. Yeah, here's my bag. Put my bag up. Put my bag up. I took a machete from North Carolina all the way to California. And see, once you done travel like I have, I know most of the stops. Like, I know most of the stops, even in New Mexico. They got this nice stop in New Mexico. They kind of strict, though. And it's just like this alley across the street from the Greyhound in New Mexico. So I took my bag and put it over there, my machete in. You know what I'm saying? And because I already knew what they was going to do. Like, I lost a whole fifth of vodka at that Greyhound in my luggage. And from that point on, I found a little building across the street, because that one is real strict, and So even I don't even go straight in. I go around before I even go in the building and take my bags and stash them, and then I go through the Greyhound. So that's top notch. That's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? I go through the whole Greyhound system and don't even get detected for carrying nothing. You know what I'm saying? I done it. You know what I'm saying? That tells you the type of person I am. But I'm only a threat to those who are a threat to me. That's my philosophy. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a game you should play. You know what I'm saying? If you want to play me for stupid, you want to play me like I'm an idiot, okay, knock yourself out. You know, knock yourself out, buddy. I'm going to take full advantage of it. Because when you play me for stupid, you're going to be having your guard down if I want to do something to you. See, the difference between a thug and a soldier is a soldier is going to take advantage of you underestimating him. A thug going to try to prove who he is, to show you how hard he is. A soldier is going to let you think whatever you want to think and take full advantage of it. So that's the best strategy. You know what I'm saying? Let them think you're stupid and you're in a whole different world than they even can imagine. Behind closed doors, you're in a whole nother world. Let them think you crazy, retarded, whatever, bipolar. Good. You just self-deceived yourself. You just deceived yourself about me. I didn't even have to do anything to you. That's how stupid most of you black people are. Because you want to be a thug, or you think about thugisms and all of that, and that some people are just straight killers. You know what I'm saying? They might look goofy. They might wear their clothes up on their whip, on their hip like a normal person, and that person is an assassin. You looking at an assassin in the face and kill you with anything. A real good assassin will kill you with anything. Kill you with a crowbar. A good assassin will kill you with a crowbar and beat you in your head with a crowbar and get less time for it. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I just learned spiritual assassin creed. You know what I'm saying? Where I kill any way I have to, any way I can. If I have to, I kill any way. If I have to, you know. That's why when somebody came through this door where I live at, he did not even know what type of am. Now you see what type of person I am. I carry machetes, everything. This dude had the balls to like bust through this door. Little did he know who I was. Soon as he stepped through this door, I was ready. He backed up out the door. Less than 30 seconds, he was out the door. I don't play any games. I always stay ready. See? Now, other people who don't live this way, how you know, is because behind closed doors, they're not ready. The true test is behind closed doors, you sitting there ready. That part. You know what I'm saying? While people go out here and put on a show and everything, and then they go home and they ain't ready. They ain't ready for war. Somebody can come in their house, they ain't got no weapons or nothing. Okay, so then how you gonna be 100 and then behind closed doors you ain't ready at all for nothing? Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? So for me, you know, all I have to do is just build on my creed and I will be out this world. That's what my enemies is afraid of. It's for me to get a little more money and I get licensed guns. You know, I'm gonna do it the right way. I'm gonna get licensed guns. You know what I'm saying? After those licensed guns, you know, I'm gonna get Dracos, all that good stuff. You know, I might even get me a street sweeper. I've seen the street sweepers and everything. I mean, you know, just little different things. Elephant guns, 30-30s, all that kind of stuff. Stuff the amateurs don't even know about. 30-30s, they don't know what that is. You know, street sweepers. I used to think 30-30s and street sweepers was the same thing. They're not. 30-30s and street sweepers are not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But that's old school for a big gun. You know, everybody used to talk about 30-30s and elephant guns, street sweepers. You know, but that's just for basically collector's items. You know, that's guns I would get once I got a lot of guns. But how I am, I'm supposed to have a lot of guns. I'm supposed to, but it's basically on money. It's not on will. You know, if that makes sense. It's not whether you are real or fake. It's whether you got that bread to put up that money for them guns. That's basically it. You know what I'm saying? Because every city I go in, I already look for the gun plug in every city. When I was in San Francisco, I was already looking for the gun plug out there in San Francisco. They go for $350. I was talking on the streets. I talked to this one dude, this random dude. I just knew. I just got that. I just thought he knew. It was just this dude just knew. So it was like this dude. I was like, yo, let me ask you something. He was like, I know how much the guns go out for out here. He was like, I was like, yo, you ain't gotta tell me who got them or whatever. I'm just asking for how much they go for. You know what I'm saying? He was like, he said save up about $350. You know what I'm saying? So that guns go for about $350 out there. You know what I'm saying? In San Francisco, I was trying to get the gun plugs. Everywhere I go, I try to get the gun. I set up the gun plugs everywhere I go. When I was in LA, I was working on it in LA. That's another thing people don't know. When I was in LA, back in 2014, I was walking around happy-go-lucky. At the same time, I was like trying to get to that gun plug too. There's people that can vouch for it. You know what I'm saying? And it's no such thing as among bums on the streets. There's no such thing. The streets is the streets. That's what suckers forget. It's depending on how you move and utilize the streets when you homeless. That's because when a gangster come out, where he going to? The streets. I'm right out there in the same vicinity. I'm right out there where the gun plugs at. It's just depending on how I utilize it. A stupid person don't think about this. You know what I'm saying? So I was when I was in LA. It was this one dude. You know what I'm saying? He was the one. He talked to me like he was one of them good dudes though. But you could tell, you know what I'm saying? He know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So I was telling him about getting a gun. He was like, I was telling him about a gun plug or whatever. He was like, yeah, you can get that for me. So you know what I'm saying? That was in LA. It's one thing to look for the gun plug in the South. No disrespect, not the South necessarily. Let's just say a country town or whatever. But it's another thing to look for a gun plug in LA. No disrespect to country towns or whatever, but it's a whole different animal. You get taken a little more seriously if you're looking for gun plugs in LA, in Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? So that was me. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody that can vouch for that. So for people that making something else, man, you going by high school stuff, bro. I'm not nobody to play with. I'm not nobody to play with at all. Point blank, period. If you ain't willing to die for it, you wasting your time. Straight like that. If you one of them niggas that like to laugh and try to size people up and stuff like that, I'm a cowboy. I'm a real cowboy. I'm a real legend. Okay? I'm a real legend. Alright? I'm not that person to play with. It ain't got nothing to do with being scary. It's got something to do with commanding respect. And I know something about you. A sucker is scared of these guns. A sucker is scared of weapons. And so as long as you got one, you're going to shave off a lot of lame niggas. A lot of lame niggas going to go on about their business. Talking about, well, we just wanted to see who he was. All of a sudden. See, a gun commands respect. That's what a gun does. When you got a gun, now people want to talk. Now they want to rationalize. They want to rationalize. Well, we just needed to know who you was. What you mean you need to know who I was? No, you don't. That don't make sense to me. Why you need to know who I am? Huh? You don't see me doing nothing. Why you need to know me? Huh? Man, come on, bro. Listen, bro. Listen. The gun makes everybody rationalize. It make a black man rationalize, I guarantee you. Which means in my case, if I'm not doing nothing, guess what? If I got a gun, you gonna let it go. I guarantee you. You ain't gonna try to read me. All that stuff they doing out there. If I got a gun, you know I got a gun, you gonna try to read me? No, you ain't, sucker. The only reason you doing that is because you think somebody's unarmed. That's why we get guns in our community. Because it commands respect. It commands respect. Okay? And that's that. Okay? It's not, buddy. I'm not what you think I am. This is who I am. And I know. Listen, buddy, yeah, I'm better than you thought. I'm way better than you thought. I know this. A gun commands respect. And you ain't gonna play with nobody if they got a gun. No, you not. No, you not, buddy. You ain't gonna play with me if I got a gun. That's why we have to do this for niggas. Because a nigga gonna say, well, we just needed to know who you was. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't need to know who I am. That's a lie. That don't even make sense. Think about it. It doesn't. You wanted to play with somebody. You still think you can play with me right now. But it's all gonna come back on you like a house. Listen, it's gonna all fall like a house of cards. Like just now, they did all this talking out there right now. Man, please, bro. Me being a pedophile, I'm a killer, bro. I'm a killer. Like I told you. All you're trying to do is reinforce on all the stuff I said, and you can't pull me backwards. Honestly, I was never in the situation you thought I was in. I never was. And what we ultimately know, this is what the good news for me is, I know you ain't gonna try me. And that's it. And I don't get caught. I don't care about the yapping and talking. That's what's wrong with black people. They do a lot of yapping and talking, right? Telling themselves, like I said. Now, if I was the crazy type of killer, I'd go downstairs and take me one of these people, based on what I just heard, right? Those are killing words. You kill people for saying you're a pedophile or something like that. That's killing words. That ain't fighting words. That's words for people to kill you. I mean, you tell me what it is. That's all I know. You know what I'm saying? But this is why I keep weapons. You understand? This is why. Because I know that a gun commands respect. Like I like to say it, this is what I was wanting to say. A gun sobers people up. Oh, you get sober. You get totally sober when you see a gun. Oh man, nah, it ain't like that. Nah. If they know you strapped, I guarantee it ain't gonna be playing with you like that, man. No. That's why most homies, if I was with the homies, any homie's gonna tell me, look, man, look. You just need to get strapped. All that gonna go away, bro. Don't even worry about that gang stuff. All you need to do is get strapped and let niggas know you strapped, man. All them lames gonna fall off of you like that. Like a flea. That's like putting on the flea collar. All them fleas gonna get off of you, bro. When you put that flea collar on. You put that flea collar on, bro. Listen. You think these niggas gonna try to play with you even if you was a pedophile? Do you think they gonna play around you and you strapped? No, think about that. Even if you was, they gonna try you cause and you strapped. No. They ain't gonna, even if you was a pedophile, they ain't gonna try you if you got a strap on you. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. You ain't gonna try to be no hero. If I was a pedophile and I got a strap on me, you gonna try me? No, nigga, you ain't gonna try me. So you're innocent and you don't, right? You're a pure person and you don't got, right? And they try you. So what is it? What's the reason? Because they think you're not strapped. They think you unarmed. And I'm never unarmed. From this time on, do you think with all these people talking like that, do you think the police would even understand if I got a weapon? I don't listen. With these dumb niggas out here, I keep me a weapon. Just for niggas like them. You heard all that talking and everything. Don't mean nothing to it. Because I'm still here. You can't, in California terms, that means you can't fade somebody. You can't fade me, buddy. I'm still here. Everything you just said, gaslighting, all gaslighting. How you gonna see me talking about I'm a pedophile, buddy? Listen, you gaslighting. That's what we call that. Is you use a reverse psychology and throwing it out there and see if it stick. It ain't gonna ever stick, buddy. I'm a sensei. I already know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? But my revenge is gonna be so much sweeter than you anticipated. You know, I don't let suckers like you get in my story. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, you think you're on my level, buddy. But you ain't hear my story. You don't know my story. But listen, even if they think you're a pedophile, let them think that too. Let them think that too, because see, in this situation where America is being destroyed, all that's gonna do is make it, listen, with them playing around you like this, all that's gonna do is make America die quicker. That's it. And they don't believe it. Listen, don't worry about that. They ain't gonna take you seriously. Even that much more. And God is ending this whole country. God is ending the whole country, buddy. We don't care nothing about them lame niggas, man. And they know they lames. They know that. They know that about themselves. You know what I'm saying? Of course they do. Of course they know they lames, bro. All they try to do is just counter all I did. I'm too much of a sensei for them to do that. You know what I'm saying? So you know what it is. You heard me, right? Yeah. So, I mean, that's basically what it is, man. I grew up like this. You know what I'm saying? Why, you know, these type of people, I call them Bill Cosby black people. Bill Cosby black people, they join Freemasons and all that kind of stuff. They sit around, drink coffee, eat donuts. You know what I'm saying? Like police. They do work like police and play all kind of psychological games and everything like that. And I grew up as a young bad kid. You know what I'm saying? Getting thrown in juvenile hall, doing my felonies when I was 16. You know what I'm saying? Doing all these shooting guns and everything when I was about 15. Start shooting guns, selling crack, everything like that. That's who I am. You know what I'm saying? Then I became a Christian. But I kept me being a soldier. I kept that part. Right? So we don't need, the last thing we want to hear about is their kids, to be honest with you. We don't care nothing about everything I've been talking about, what it's been, a grown man conversation, right? We don't care nothing about, honestly, man, that's the last thing I even care about talking about right now, some kids. The only thing I want to, and that's not saying in a depressed way, I'm not suicidal, I'm not any of that. It's just we just discussed it at the contradictions. First and foremost, you know, we're disgusted at these contradictions. You know, they marrying children. Okay, so what America is to you? What's America? America is a pedophile. They marry children, sucker. So your whole country that you work for, that you out here slaving for, they pedophiles. And guess what? I can prove that. Why you can't? Can you prove that? What you just said? Then you less of a man than me. And that's facts. You know what? You know what you are? Less of a man than I am. Okay? You don't bother me. Long as you know you don't pass over that threshold, you ain't gonna listen. I don't care about you. You just a worker. I see you just like a nigga on the streets. That's how I see it. I see you just like a nigga on the streets. So you don't got no seniority. You don't threaten me. You don't intimidate me with this building or these people in here. I see these people just like niggas and bitches on the street. It's that simple. That's how I see it. That's how I see you. I see you as niggas and bitches on the street. Try me and you'll see what happened to you. Listen, I'll tell the police what I did to you. I'm that type of nigga. I tell the police what I did to you. You don't intimidate me. You ain't gonna ever be able to break me and make me feel like I'm something I know I'm not, nigga. You crazy as hell. You know what I'm saying? You might listen, man. I'll tell you one thing, man, and make this very clear. Don't anger me, bro. Don't anger me. Cause I can come down there and get with you. That's not a threat, that's a promise. That's a promise. I can come get with you anytime. You vulnerable. Like I like to put it. You're vulnerable to me. Which means anytime I want to come get you, I can. And what can you do? It's nothing you can do. You walking around like a rabbit. You walking around like a bunny rabbit. And I can pluck you anytime I want to. Just remember that. Just remember that. I can pluck you anytime I want to. Why, you talking about what? What you talking about? Pedophile couldn't prove it? We can prove it. Y'all marry children in America. Okay, so there you go. That's the difference between competency and incompetency. Okay, that's the difference. I can come get with you anytime I want to. And that's what a boss, that's how you know somebody done took over. Because now you listen, you already done said what you done said. Now you listen. Ain't nobody gonna sympathize with you. Ain't nobody gonna sympathize if I wanna come get with you. They gonna say, well, he was saying what he was saying. Okay, he came got with him. I don't know what you New Yorkers come from where you think you the only thing hot out here, bro. You vulnerable. You vulnerable to me, especially if you work. You working, you're a vulnerable person. I can come do anything to you at any time while you on the clock. I'll punch your clock, shut your clock down while you on the clock. These lames, I suspect these people was nothing in high school, right? They couldn't have been. They couldn't have been because they wouldn't be as uncool as they are right now, or would they? Listen, you had to be clowns in high school. You probably got ridiculed. You probably didn't get no girls or nothing in high school, did you? You probably was a sucker, like straight lame, pathetic, right? Son, now you're trying to redeem yourself. I think some people like this, they like to play around people that was cool, because they never was. So your revenge is to try to fight these cool people, right? Now I'm serious. I think they have a revenge to fight these cool people. Okay, I don't care about you, bro. I don't care about you. Just remember that, bro. Just remember. You think I'm playing, bro? I'm always armed, buddy. If you want that conversation, speaking on my name and playing around my life, gonna get you killed, bro. I'm telling you right now. That's what's gonna happen to you. Okay, that's what's gonna happen to you. God gonna take care of it. God gonna watch. Mark my words, because they think they can do this and get away with it, right? Watch what God do to them. We don't care nothing about what you talking about no children. Your country marries children. We don't care nothing about no children. We ain't even thinking. You hear me talking about children? I'm talking about grown man, real stuff that happens in the real world. And these weirdos never fed into our world. That's the truth. They never fed into our world. And that's that. That's how I feel. That's how I take it. But you see, my life is real. You see, my life, I've been through real stuff. So when they speak on my name, because you work for the Americans or whoever you work for, and you think you can gaslight me and make me feel some type of way and put that little weak pressure on me that you put on me, listen, bro, I wouldn't be who I was if I wasn't able to see everything you just did. Okay, come on, bro. You just want attention. You probably gay. You probably bisexual. How you think I guessed that? Because it's in a gay man's nature to play the games that you play. A straight man ain't gonna go about it like that. I ain't gonna go about it like that. I'm gonna hurt you way worse. I'm gonna hurt you way worse than with the games you playing with words. I'm gonna hurt you way worse because people see me for who I am. So I get it. It was the psychology of trying to make me feel something other than what I just told you and everything I really am. Trying to break up the real persona. This is my real persona. You're not going to be able to break it, buddy. That's what makes me real. You know what makes me real? You can't fade it. You can't fade it no matter what you do. This is why we did this to these Americans. This is why this happened to them. Because of niggas like them, we don't care nothing about them. We don't care nothing about them. Listen, that's my word. I don't care nothing about them. I don't care if they black at all. So what? They sold out to whatever groups of people they deal with here in this country. We don't care about them. Okay, they're not black to us. We don't consider, they don't have the values of black people. And that's that. I don't care what else they talk about. I just don't see them. I see them as people easily to exterminate. I see them easy to exterminate, and we don't care nothing about it. It's that simple. I mean, they changed. I didn't change. They changed. So I just adjust to the changes. That's all. You know what I'm saying? They was not able to ever see eye to eye with me. They put me in these same situations trying to see eye to eye with me, and it ain't going to work. It ain't going to ever work. You can't break my heart, buddy. I don't care about that. I don't care about those. If I was in high school, maybe I would go pursue that. I don't care about that, bro. I'm a grown man over here, man. You got to live with that. I don't. I don't got to live with nothing they talking about. And guess what? We ain't going to let them get no cameos. We ain't going to let them get no cameos, no 15 minutes of fame, or none of that. You know what I'm saying? This is how you got to be. This is how you got to be. Personally, I'm going to be honest with people that listen to me. I don't think about no sex. I'm thinking about God. You know what I'm saying? That's what's wrong with the Americans now. They always think about sex all the time. Let's look at this. I ain't thinking about no sex. How about just How about just thinking about God and no sex? And let alone kids. I ain't thinking about women. That's what's wrong with y'all lames now. You always think about some women and you think you're good because you're doing that. That's done destroyed your life. I can show you how your whole life destroyed. Running behind these women. You know what I'm saying? I ain't thinking about none of it. I ain't thinking about no sex. How about that? And that's why I got you beat, don't I? Well, you jacking off all the time. I'm pretty sure about that. I'm pretty sure you jacking off all the time. Okay, I ain't even doing that. I ain't even doing that, buddy. I don't jack off. I don't masturbate. I don't watch pornography. I don't do. That's what I'm saying. That's why I trip off these. That's why God is gonna do something dirty. Well, I don't mean God is. God gonna do something real cruel to them people, bro. Real cruel to them as individuals. Watch, you'll see. One dude had his blood all over the floor in here already. It's not a game, bro. It's not a game. We can get you in here too. I started cursing the person at the next room. His blood was all over the floor. Then he done got in a fight with somebody else and his blood all over the floor. I had to clean up his blood just so I could walk through here. You don't think we're going to get them? Of course we're going to get them too. We're going to get everybody. But we got bigger fish to fry. You know what I'm saying? We got bigger fish to fry, buddy. You can't make me a fish sandwich. You a little fish. I can't even get a fish sandwich off of you, buddy. So what we gonna do is we just gonna stay, man. Listen, we gonna stay focused because what I know is it's a lot of how I put this, a lot of strange people that ain't got no bit of cool in them. They just dry humor. They ain't cool. They just non-entities. They non-entities. They ain't got no personality. No, nothing to live for. They holding L's, all that kind of stuff. Like, we winning. We winning, buddy. Whether you think we pedophiles or not, we winning. You know what I'm saying? That's the bottom line. It's all about, listen, anybody that can live with themselves with saying somebody's a pedophile and they couldn't prove it, that's not a man. That's why I know they gay. Because a man ain't gonna put that on nobody if he can't prove it. No, that's too harsh of a term to put on somebody, even with psychology. Nope. I gotta see you doing something. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want to hear about. And that ain't what we talking about no more. We passed that. We beat that. We beat them charges, buddy. We beat everything you talking about. That's why we left them people back in 2025. They can't make it. They can't hang on. They ain't relevant. That's why they had to do that, to be relevant. They ain't relevant. That's why I want you to understand they're fighting to be relevant. Okay, they're not relevant no more. We got Maduro in the burrow right now. Maduro from South America is up here. These dumb Americans done brought that man way up here, man. That's what we talking about, bro. But I took time to break down, like, how the last time I had a gun, last time I had a shotgun, everything like that, what type of person I am. My grandfather was a killer. He killed somebody. I called my stepdad. I could tell him to bring me a shotgun. He'll do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what type of dude I am. That's my real mold. That's who I am. And like I said, we got to keep discipline because they just mad. I'm about to put $1 million down in South America. These suckers don't even know. These bums. You know what I'm saying? You thought, whatever you thought about me, I'm about to put $1 million down there in South America, buddy. Yes, sir. I got half of it now. I got half of the money right now, buddy. Yeah. I'm not broke. I'm not broke at all. I sit back and laugh at people. I'm going to take this money. We're going to make this $1 million down in South America while these lames talking about what? What they talking about? What they talking about? Watch what happens when you put this money on your head right here, buddy. You already know it's coming, don't you? Oh, they know it's coming, don't they? They know it's coming. We put this money on their head right here. Goodbye, arrivederci. Arrivederci. Watch when we put this money on their head right here. Watch what happens. This is God's kingdom, buddy. Listen, you don't come playing around us for fun. Watch when we put this money on y'all head right here. Watch me put that money on the head. All this going down to South America, buddy. Right in the middle of all this conflict with America. We anti-America. We don't love, no, ain't no love for America. They should have played with us. They should have played with God's kingdom. Now, listen, watch what I do with this money. We're going to put it down in South America, man. We're going to put this down in South America. When this money hits South America, all this stuff they doing, Maduro, everything like that, all this stuff finna change. This is just a setup. And I sent money to Venezuela. I already sent money out there. Boom. Now, I don't know if it got there because they done suspended mail from getting there. But I ain't got no return mail, so I figured that it got through the cracks because they say it can. It can get through the cracks. I don't know how, but they say it can. But I sent money to Russia. I done sent money out there to Russia. I got connections all over. Then I'm ready to do long as they send the mail out there. I got some really good connections. And mind you, some other connections I already made hit already. Egypt, other places in South America, Colombia. I'm already working with Colombia. You know what I'm saying? That's legit. Those are connections I already got. Jamaica, I done sent money to Jamaica, thousands of dollars to Jamaica. These bums out here ain't, listen, that's working in this place, that's working against me. This whole building is against me. They don't think I know. Listen, man, I made you have a job. You think, so you thought, right? You a bum. Listen, the Jamaicans, I done sent $25,000, over almost $30,000 down there in Jamaica, man. You know what they talking about, bro? What you talking about? What you talking about? Oh, stuff we beat, these organizations, the gang stalkers made up. Oh, well, they couldn't prove it. Oh, they couldn't prove it. So you listen. You listen. Ain't no way in the world nobody gonna ever submit to your lame world where you couldn't prove it. I proved that your country marries children. I proved your country are pedophiles. Oh, that's a pedophile. You know what a pedophile is? A grown man with children. When have you seen me with children as a grown man? Oh, my freedom, it shows you my innocence, don't it? Well, I'm innocent because I'm free. I'm free because I'm innocent, right? Okay, so show me. I can leave here any day I want. I'm here on purpose, buddy. I already know what y'all doing. I'm here on purpose because I'm going to get this in the right hands. And we're going to change. We're going to finish the job that we started. We're going to finish this country. Oh, yeah. We're going to do it God's way. We're going to show you how God's kingdom do it. We ain't gonna do no terrorist attacks. We ain't gonna kill no. We ain't gonna go out here and be on the offense with killing people. We only gonna kill if we have to protect ourselves, right? That's common sense. That's anybody. Anybody gonna do that. Military, police, everybody gonna do that. You gonna kill if you have to. Okay, so you, as a man, you don't let nobody make you where you don't kill if you got to. Police gonna do it. Military gonna do it. Yeah, you kill if you got to. You don't never, yeah, yes sir. They do it in any situation. No matter what you talking about, as long as you don't come on that threshold, buddy, listen, a nigga gonna be a nigga, ain't it? As long as you don't come on that threshold, buddy. You can say whatever you want to say, because I'm gonna treat you just like a child. You go ahead and say what you want to say. While we get, listen, that's gonna justify God and the community let me do what I want to do. Thank you. Thank you. Because after they've heard my testimony and everything about me and they can see my energy, they gonna let me do this. Thank you. We just bought you. We just bought your community. Because as long as you did what you just did right there, as long as you talking like that, everybody gonna let me do this. And you know that, don't you? Oh, well, I guess you're desperate. Obviously, listen, bro. Listen, thank you. Actually, thank you, because guess what? They gonna let me do everything I want to do now, and I'm about to do that in the next what's the day? Less than a week. This time next week, listen, it's gonna be on its way to Colombia. I'm gonna have money on. It's gonna get way worse. I just sent money to Colombia, like a week ago, something like that. Yeah, just now a week ago. I sent money.